All right, there we go. Mic check. A little bit of technical difficulties. Greetings, everyone. If you can hear me, press 1. Let us see what the problem is here. Is the mic in? Mic in. Okay, everybody can hear me? Mic check. Mic check. If everybody can hear me, great. Mic check. Okay, let's check the comments. Let's see if everybody is engaged and ready to go. We have a 1. Okay, good. We are here. Welcome everyone to Tehuti's Podclass. Greetings, peace and love to those who are new, to those who are old, who've been here before. This is the class that everyone has been asking me for. We've been on this mission for several years, and people have been asking over and over if I can have a one-on-one class with them. I've tried, and it took up a lot of time to do 1-hour classes with 75 people requesting. I asked for a free will offering, and people were paying for the classes, but it was not enough time in the day for me to do a class and also attend to my personal life and family. So I told everybody some months ago that we will be having a pod class where everyone can come at the same time, join in, participate live, and all I ask from those is reciprocity. For those who have questions, even if you don't have questions, send a Cash App, send a PayPal. We'll read them, and that is because YouTube has removed my super chat. I no longer get super chat. You can't send in a question of support with the super chat, so I have to do everything manually, and manually means that I have to take Cash App and the PayPal. I will announce those who gave donations and read off the questions, and we'll get into this live. I believe this is the only podcast where this is actually happening, where you can come and ask live questions on the spot. I have no idea what anybody's going to ask. Let me fix this a little bit. I have no idea what anyone is going to ask, and when the question is asked, I will do my best to answer, and we'll go from there. If people agree or disagree, everyone is open to take the information as they wish. I just like to deal with factual information, not conjecture, not opinionated, no emotions involved, no screaming. No, this program will not have any rants about any other YouTuber, any other person into Kemet, any other person into any form of consciousness or whatever people may be into. This is not a channel that is based on that, and I don't base on getting my views off of that, which is why my views are a little less than others, because it's pure information. There's no drama. There's no clickbait, slander for anyone. It's just information. My name is Amenhotep Ra, Tehuti Amenhotep Ra, for those who are new. I'm a teacher. People call me Seba, based on an ancient word which means a doorway. And the teachers in the past were called Sebas, which were doorways because they were openers to higher levels of information, or symbolic of going from one stage to another stage, which was symbolic of as a door. So the teacher was called a door, and also the word for student was also Seba, because the teacher is always a student and the student is striving to be the teacher. Thus the word for Seba, for teacher and student, is Seba, the exact same word, because as a teacher you remain a student, thus you remain humble. They're not separate words. So I am a Seba because I am a teacher and I am a student of knowledge, here to create other teachers, here to open up the mind, break the matrix. And I hope everybody saw my last show on Sonnetter. If not, you can feel free to go there. I do have unofficial moderators that will be official as of next week with the wrench, or maybe even later on this show, and they can put the Sonnetter link in the channel. So this channel is about asking questions, building. Even if you disagree, you can send a Cash App with a disagreement, and I will address it all. I will address it all. So let me put the information here. That is the Cash App information. That is the PayPal and the Cash App information at the bottom. I will check my Gmail, and the questions will show up on the Gmail with the Cash App, the PayPal. I will read them out loud and answer the questions. So first we're going to greet everyone that is in the room, because that is what I'm all about. And I will greet everyone that is in the room first with a hymn or a chant, something that me and my inner circle say to each other every morning, and to begin all of our classes. I will say it and then I will translate it, and we will start like this. Anki ma'at un ms nintet oset emat min hepapet emat her enhu kiui per ikut. That is, I live from Ma'at, I exist within her, I do not speak in the place of Ma'at. Every day I advance in Ma'at, my being is surrounded in darkness, and I come forth as conscious light. We're all trying to come forth as conscious light in this state of spiritual darkness that this matrix has created. This is Zebra, my serpent, one of my many serpents that I have around me. She's a Lampropeltes, striped, and she's named Seb. He's named Seb and Ra. Put together, it's Zebra, which sounds like zebra because of the look. It looks like a zebra. Okay, and that is Zebra. Let me give shout outs and respect to everyone that is in the room, that is supporting, that is here. So we will start off with shout outs and peace to Vinny Black Lodge. Nice name, Vinny Black Lodge. We have here, we have Tehuti. Oh, it disappeared. Tehuti Ra Netter. Peace, love, and power to Tehuti Ra Netter. We have a consistent individual who comes to the class and supports DHNJ. And I want to address DHNJ because last time I was on Sonnetter, I did a whole show on how the number system, the frequency, and the gematria is used for so-called killings and control, and how they use this number system. You can go back and watch that show. I broke down several things, to the births of people, to their deaths, the time between each, the date, the time, the place that George Floyd was supposed to be killed, the street number, the police car that pulled up, the numbers that were on those, and broke it all down all the way to 72, all the way to the Septuagint having 72 so-called elders, the story as they have. I broke down a lot of things. To go on Sonnetter and you will see that. It's called Tehuti Teaches, Breaking Out the Matrix. And in the midst of all that, when it's all done, a brother named Ammon Rock called and asked a great question about, is this as happen chance or is it pre-set up? And then after I answered that, it got bombarded with this individual, brother JJ 7000, who came in and just, I guess he was looking for a fight, looking for a discrepancy. He brought up what he thought was a discrepancy, and when he brought it up, it was immediately silenced. He said, okay, you won that one, but here's another one. So he seemed like he was just looking for something to attack. He didn't know what to attack. I kept saying, what is it that I taught that you're speaking against? And anyways, he disrupted the show with just negative bombardment, but not accepting and saying, okay, I haven't studied this, so I can't really comment on it, and just leaving the situation alone until next time. But it was frantic, volatile, rah, rah. And so he started calling me names. You're weak, Tehuti, you're weak. I'm not going to take that BS and all this. Like, I'm not used to that kind of stuff, because if you have the truth, you shouldn't have to be like that. You shouldn't. If somebody asks you how tall you are and you're 5'7", you say you're 5'7". There's no need to get emotional about it. I'm 5'7". What about it? What you gonna do? Just you're 5'7". I wear a size 12 shoe. Okay, wonderful. Let's move on to the next topic. Oh, you're size 12. I thought you were size 11. My mistake. And then move on. But people in these religions, they can't talk like that. But anyways, in the midst of all that, Sonetter flashed up DHNJ's gave a super chat and flashed it up, but it was in the midst of all the ruckus. So it came up, it went down, and anyways, it got ignored. So I want to say that peace to NJ, but in the midst of that kind of chaos, sometimes the super chats on that channel will not get addressed. Over here, they will all get addressed. But I wanted to say shout out to you for even attempting to ask a question that would keep it on the frequency of what I was teaching about, and not this rah NJ DHNJ even typed I'm not here for this tonight, and it just went it went crazy. But anyways, let me give a shout out to everybody. We have Lamar M. Owens, Hotep, Ma'at Seneb. We have Plain and Simple with the numerals there. I don't know if that's a part of the name or just something to focus on the name. Peace to Plain and Simple. We have several people in the room tonight. We have FU Bill Gates, who comes to every show. We have Netter the Greatest. That's a great name. Netter the Greatest. Ready to learn something new, in which you absolutely will. Who else we have in the room? I want to give everybody their shout outs. We have Mandarin, who actually sent our first question in. Actually sent a question in last week, and then it didn't get a chance to be answered, and sent it again before the Podclass. Peace, Mandarin. We have the awesome Unk M. Mayat in the room. Greetings, everyone. Tehuti will be starting shortly. Thank you for updating. We have Super Danny C. Leonez. Let's go. I'm ready for the Podclass. We have Scott in the room. Scott Reiger. A lot of beautiful people in the room today. Who else? I think that's we have Big Vape, and I can't say the rest of that word, but Big Vape. We have Dead Beat Void, who's always with us. We have here's another consistent person, Intuitive Fugitive. I like that name. Intuitive Fugitive. We have a bunch of people in the room. Where are my moderators? We have, what's the PayPal? The PayPal is there at the bottom. Dre, thank you for asking. Dre 2 Beastie, thank you for asking. It's at the bottom there. And where are my moderators? Let me scroll down and see. We have now. Okay, we have Unk M. Mayat, Brenda Castro, Hati Ma'at, and The Truth is Ma'at. They will be moderators. They will not have the wrench right now, because the process in doing so, there was not time to do that. Maybe as the night goes on, I'll be able to do that. It's a more complicated process than what was originally told to me. So we have okay, Kemet 101, Shut Up Lowry, God Mind, God Mind. God Mind put this up in the room. God Mind said JJ came on fishing. Yeah, embarrassing himself. Embarrassing himself bad. He left searching for proof on his own belief. Exactly. He came in and left searching for proof. Okay. Kemet, Dan, Obi, one. And we have the lovely Brenda Castro. Yes, she will be one of the unofficial moderators. She'll be the moderator, one of the assistants. So if you guys are looking for questions, you can ask those 4 people in the room questions. At the moment, I cannot put the wrench by their name at the moment, but it will be officially by their name next week or before this class is over, depending on how time allows. So peace to you. And EP, saw you on Sonnetters, first time here. Let's get EP. Okay, EP, peace to you. Yes, I was on Sonnetter. I was on Sonnetter a few times. Not sure which one you saw. I think the first time I was on there, I was discussing the Natiru, according to the Kemetic writings, being real beings, which caused Jabari to come in and do a debate. And then I went on Sonnetter, debated him, and won that debate. And so I don't know if you saw that one. The next one I was on was Sonnetter said, set me up with Zion Lex. And I went on that debate, and according to the crowd, I won that debate as well. And so you can search for Tehuti versus Jabari, Tehuti versus Zion Lex. Tehuti says the Netters are real on Sonnetter. And also, I was just on there again on so-called Christmas when Sonnetter brought me Vocab Malone. And we set up a debate that's on Sonnetter Universities. And then, according to the audience, I won that debate. So I've been on Sonnetter about 4 times. And then the next time was me doing the class on the number system and the control. So peace to you, EP. Nice to see you. Okay. One moment. Let me put Zebra down and let me check the... let me check... Oh my gosh. Hold on. Okay. Let me check the room. And let me check the emails. And then I think we'll get into Mandarin. Mandarin. Okay, 1 second, everyone. Click that off. Go back on. Mandarin, if you could for me. Type your question in the room. I'd have to go back to the last super chats to see it. Okay, just type it in. And yes, hit the like button. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and get started. So Mandarin, thank you, Mandarin, for your support. He actually sent in a Cash App question, the last class, at the end of the class, and I didn't get a chance to answer it. If you type it in here, I'll put it up on the screen. And also, I'll be putting up Cash Apps or announcing them when I see them. Some people didn't want sometimes their first and last name, government names, are on the Cash App. So I will announce some, or I'll try to edit out that section. Mandarin was one. We actually edited that out of the last Podclass. So because this question is on that same image, I'm not going to put it back up because we had to edit that out the last time. So if he types it in, I'll just put up on the screen. But he definitely gave a good support with that. I think it was about $20 with that. Okay, let's wait for his... Okay, Mandarin, Apep. Okay, let me go ahead and put this on the screen. So shout out to Mandarin for that Cash App sent. Shout out to you. I think it was about $20. Peace and respect to you, brother. And also the truth is Ma'at. If you're in the room, could you press 1? I can't seem to see you in the room. That is one of our moderators that you guys can ask questions to, and we'll get the wrench either tonight or next time. It's a little complicated right now. Okay, but if you could type a 1 so I could see you in the room, because I can't seem to see your name. So here we're starting it off. Can Apep influence reality on a wide scale? Is Apep present inside of everyone and everything, or is it confined to a specific place such as Noon or Ra? We're going to do another check. If everybody can hear me, press 1 again, please. Mic check. There's a lot of people in here that don't even know what this question means, because this Apep and these concepts are foreign to a lot of people. They're not taught on a regular basis. So I'm going to go ahead and explain where this question is even coming from, and then we'll get into how deep this situation is. So first, Mandarin, if you can hear me. Okay, Donkey. Peace, Donkey. Donkey's in the room as well. Bonchita Mix. God Fibonacci, peace. Peace to you. Okay. 1 second. Okay, volume is good, thank you. Mandarin, were you did I ever break down to you or were you part of any breakdown where I was explaining the where I was discussing the Pope and the building that the Pope teaches in and the shape of the building? Was that you, or did you ever hear anything like that? Thank you. You just put the lid. Yeah, thank you so much. I don't know if that was you or if you were in the room for that, where I was discussing the Pope and the things that were inside of his building that were designed to look like a pep, designed to attribute to a pep. Okay, so no, this this is a great question. The brother, somebody asked here. Oh, well, it's moving too fast. I can't catch it. No super chats due to taxation. No, there's no super chats because I qualified for. It's not just super chats. I qualified for the whole monetization, but then they went back to back to my channel and looked through my channel and then didn't and said that they saw some content on there that didn't qualify. Anyways, they looked at my channel. They didn't like certain content. So because they didn't like certain content, they took off all monetization, not just the super chats, but all monetization came off of the channel because they went back and looked at it and said they didn't like certain things. Okay, there we go. Okay, here, everybody look at this name right here. So look for Truth is Ma'at. If you see any links sent up by her, Brenda Castro, Anki Mayat, and Ahati, they will be my unofficial moderators until I can get the wrench on their name. The good thing about this is that because of the mild-manneredness and the respect that everybody has in this room and the frequency of the room, we don't ever have to get anybody thrown out. That's the beautiful thing about it. A lot of times moderators have to mute people, throw people out of the room. They get disrespected. Comments have to be retracted. That's one of my son's favorite things when he sees a comment message retracted, and the moderators have to do this to keep control of some of the rooms because of the negative volatile energy. The Tehuti Podclass is so smooth that even if my moderators right now don't have wrenches, that's fine because they don't have to enforce anything in the room because nobody is getting crazy. But I want to let everybody know the names. Those are the names of the people that will be posting links, websites, answering certain questions that are asked in the room that I may miss just on basic things. And then before the end of the night, they'll have a wrench by their name or by next week. It's a little complicated right now. And I was having also some technical difficulties in the beginning of this, which is why you saw the show shut down for a while and then restart. A lot of difficulties happening. But we're going to get into this. So shout out to the Truth is Ma'at. Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna get into where's Mandarin. Okay. Can Apep influence reality on a worldwide scale? Anybody who's familiar with, just so I can see where everybody is at, type in a short sentence or a couple words on what you know of Apep. What is Apep? What is this brother asking about? What is this Apep that he's asking about? Because it doesn't seem to be a common word that is used in day-to-day conversations for people to even know what is this Apep that's being asked about. Okay. All right, so we're going to look in the room and see what is this Apep thing? What is Apep? No idea. Great. Right. Pepsi. See? So a lot of times if a question just starts to get answered, a lot of people in the room also get lost because they're not even familiar with what the question is being asked about. So let me give everybody the basic understanding of Apep, and then we'll get into how is Apep influencing today? What's going on? What is this Apep energy that this brother is asking about? Okay, so let me get into the room. Here, I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share. Let me go ahead and do a screen share. And boom. Sharing screen. And so if you just go and look this up, just for the basic understanding, it will say Apep, also called Apepi, Apepep, Aepep, Apophis, and the Greek was the ancient Egyptian deity embodiment of chaos. Chaos was also called Isfet, and was thus the opponent of light and Ma'at. Okay, here is the spelling of Apep down here. You'll notice that Apep has the A symbol. The A symbol here is this this weapon right here that's shown, and then there's two P's, which are squares. These are two stools, and then over here you'll see something interesting. You will see the snake, a serpent, and he has knives in him. So this is a serpent type energy, a serpent type being. That was the negative aspect of the serpent, because in Kemet we had duality, the positive and the negative aspects. Over here is the image of the man in the afterlife fighting the Apep, who actually hides under the boat of Ra. Negative energy hiding under the boat of Ra. This is just the basics. I like to give people I like to teach in a way that beginners can understand at first, because I want everybody to go look it up also, either as I'm teaching or even afterwards. So here we have the image of the boat of Ra, and Set, who was working with Ra, who was Ra's protector. He is stabbing Apep, who's under the boat, and this is a negative energy. So the serpent is symbolic of positive energy at times and negative energy. In this context, it is negative energy. Okay. Get back to the screen here. Whoop. So Apep is was the concept of where the biblical character became associated with a serpent. As a matter of fact, in the Kemetic writings, in the Legends of the Gods, which I can pull up, there is direct correlation and plagiarism of exactly what's said about Apep, how he will lose his hands, he will go upon his belly, directly taken into the book of Genesis. And of course, this existed thousands of years before the book of Genesis is written, because there is no ancient book of Genesis, or as the Hebrews today, another made-up word, Hebrew, but as the Hebrews today call it, Bereshith. If you walk up to a Hebrew person or a Christian and say, can you show us the archaeological find or the museum where we can find a book that is called Bereshith, or a set of writings called Bereshith that dates back to the time of Moses, they will not, because it did not exist. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get into it. So I want to show you something here. I'm going to go ahead and get into it, and what I'm going to show you is this image right here. Oops, sorry, wrong image. I'm going to show you this right here. So the Apep, we have to understand that in the Medu-Neter language, in the ancient languages that today people are calling Hebrew, Arabic, all those languages, but even the older languages from which they derived from, the Medu, the language of Kiingi that whites call cuneiform, there are letters in the languages that actually turn into soft letters. There's soft letter pronunciation and hard letter pronunciation, such as the letter P. The letter P and the letter B are the same. The letter B and P are just upside down versions of each other. They make the same sound. One is just a harder sound and one is a softer sound. So one is pa pa and one is pa pa. And they are the same and at times interchangeable. Which is why when you look up words like Pope, okay? When you look up words like Pope, you'll see that Pope comes from babe, which also is from Baba. And when we look at this, babe becomes an infant child of either sex, Baban, Babel, old woman, or grandmother, and then variants of Papa. Papa. So we have Papa, P-A-P-A, and then we have B-A-B-E or B-A-B-A because the vowels sometimes are insignificant, because in ancient languages, most of the sounds of words are actually consonants, not vowels. Okay? Let me get some water. So we see that Baba right down here at the bottom. Oh no. Okay. Baba is the same as Papa. Baba. So that's why Papa, in the language that we use today, we will understand as father, like Pops. But then when you talk to a conscious person or a Hebrew or an Arabic person, or even a person into Yoruba, they will have the Babalawa, Baba, and yes, and what's the Baba part? They'll say, oh, Baba is father. Because the letter B and the letter P are the same. And that's why Baba is father and Papa is father, because they are actually the same word. And it's also from Abab, or Abba, which is father. Okay? So Papa is father, Baba is father. Okay? Now, what Papa is, I'm gonna show you this right here. Let me take it off screen share for a moment. And let me go this. Okay. Oh, sorry. It's computer's giving me a warning. 1 second, everybody. Sorry about that. 1 second, everybody. Ooh, deceptive site. Sorry, I'm getting all kinds of warnings. Sorry, everybody. Hold on a moment. I don't know, somebody's trying to hack what's happening right here. Deceptive. Let me. Okay, I'm being blocked from. Hey. Literally everything is blocking me. Oh, get highest security details. Hey, this is strange, everybody. 1 moment. I'm being blocked from everything right now. Hold on. 1 moment. I may have to do it another way. Oh, everything is turning my screen red. This is interesting, ladies and gentlemen. I'm being blocked from looking up certain things for you. So I'm going to let me go ahead and pull it up from my own files, because it seems like I'm being blocked. Very interesting. Give me a moment, everyone. I'm going to pull up my own files. It looks like I'm being blocked from internet searches. Interestingly, I can't internet search right now. Let me go ahead. But beautiful thing about it is that I have my files. Yeah, I'm just being blocked from internet sites at the moment, but that's okay, because I have my own my own files. Okay, no problem at all. Okay, so let me go ahead and pull up my own books, because I have my own books. Some are available, some are just for my students, and I'm going to go ahead and pull that up for everybody. I do not need the internet. I do not need the internet for searches. I will search up my own files, and you all look them up. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share, and we're going to see how this Apep is affecting the world right now. And so I don't know if you were there last time, Mandarin, when I broke this down, but if you look at the screen right now, you'll see this word Dogon. Now, the interesting thing about this word Dogon is that the Dogons are very popular for having connection with the Dogri, which they call ugly water beings, or some beings that came out of the waters to teach them. But before there was a before the Dogons became popular, there was this right here. This is Dag. dog. This is a Sagigi Canaanite word for fish and grain, which you're going to find interesting. And here is the deity, or here is the energy force, or the being as they depict him. This is from a bas relief of the palace of the Assyrian king of Sargon, 721 BC. Okay, 721 BC. That is Dag. Now they put it inside the Bible, interestingly enough, in Samuel's 5:2. Okay, Samuel's 5:2. They carry the ark onto Dagon's temple. Okay, so Dagon is a concept of a reptilian or fish type entity, some type of reptilian or fish type entity. The Apep creature, or the Apep that's described, is always associated with a serpent or reptile type energy. You're going to find that this Apep, this Dagon, the Dagri, the Dogons, this energy of this reptilian type entity, good or bad, in the Apep situation bad, has affected the whole world today, and the whole world is actually being controlled by it, because this reptilian type energy was here actually before there was Homo genus and Homo sapiens. Now we have the Dingir. And then we look at the word Dingir. Dingir is a cuneiform or Sugegi word for the stars or the skies. And it's also the word for the gods, the ancient gods that people are calling the Anunnaki, were called the Dagir, the dogs. Okay, because it was a word for the sky. The letter N was a power symbol. So it was just dog, which makes the word DG, which is dag or dog. Okay, now the Europeans under the Catholics become attracted to this dog energy, this dag energy, or this reptilian type energy, and they actually take the symbol and they actually add it to their attire. It's an attribution to Dag combined with Apep. Okay? Dag combined with Apep. When you look at the Dag, the Dagan, you will find that the exact same headdress and look of the Dag with the fish head is the same thing that the Apep is wearing today. The Apep today is just called Pep, which is the Baba or the Papa, and that becomes the Pope of today. So the Pope of today is a man who claims to be a religious leader, but his symbolisms are that of a reptilian type symbology, or a fish type, something with scales, but he claims to be the man of God. But his symbolism is all based on this dog reptilian type thing, and he's called the Pope, which is from Apep, which is also Abab or Baba, which is a father or a leader. Here is his hat up close. Okay, so the higher men of Rome, after they started associating themselves with this reptilian type entity, the higher men of Rome were called the Doges of Italy and the Doges of Rome and Venice. They were called the Doges, and you can look this up. And they were called the Doges from Dagan. And so the higher men were called the Doges, and the higher men that ruled the religion were called the popes, or the papas, or the apepas, or the fathers. And this created the word dukes, and this is where you get Dukes of Hazzard and dukes. Whenever you see a person of high royalty, you'll see a duke. You may see a duke in front of his name. Of course, now we get into why. Why is this? Because the influence of Apep is the negative side of the good, which means it's a symbol of duality, the negative side of duality, or the 1-1 beside each other, or the P and the Q. The P and the Q staring at each other, which creates a term being on your P's and Q's. Now, the Apep, which is the negative side of duality, and the Dog, the Europeans took this and they created the word Dug, Duke, and also the word deuce. And I'm going to show you how both the concept of Apep and the Dog, the reptilian, now is being used for the negative side of duality and also symbolizes the number 2. Okay? So when you look at Dug and Dog, you'll see that it comes from deuce, right? Deuce. Deuce, which is also a 2, or Dio. Dio, or Deus, or Zeus, Deus, right? As in when a person in Spain, because that's who these people are, the Romes are the Spaniards. And when they count to 2, they say uno, dos, tres, cuatro. You think that's how Mexicans talk. That's actually how they talked in Spain. That's why they called it Spanish. So the deuce was the number 2, and the number 2 was the second letter in the alphabet, which controlled everything, which I broke down in many occasions, which was the second principle. The second principle was the principle of Apep, or the principle of the Netiru on the good side, and on the bad side, there was the Apep, the positive serpent that was worn on the heads of the pharaohs, and then the negative serpent, which was Apep, or the Ababa. Okay, Baba from the letter B, Baba from the letter B, which is the second letter in the English alphabet. Okay, which is why when they give you the English alphabet to control you, they end it at the Apep. They end it at the Bob. They end it at their negative father, which is the letter B. And that's why when you say the alphabet, you just say AB. But alphabet is not the whole 26 or so letters, really only 13. But it's just alpha, which is the letter A, and then beta, which is the letter B. But they end you at the letter B because it's all based off the second principle, which is why they tell you the first period of time is actually called a second. A second, a minute, and then an hour. But the smallest period of time could not be called a second unless they want you focused on the number 2 or the negative side of duality, or the 1-1 or the 8-3 or the 56, which all equals 11. The deuce, the Dios. That's why your God is called Deus, right? Which was the second principle. The unos, the Deus, which became their word for light, which came from Zeus, the god of lightning and thunder. So that became Deuce, and that became Dukes of Hazzard, and this became the Dukes. That created the word Duken, Duken in Germany, which meant strong power, and that became the word dog. Dog in English then became their father. That's why when you look up the father of the Romans, the mother of the Romans, they have Romulus and Remus underneath a dog, or as they call it, a wolf, because a wolf is the original dog, because in ancient time, the dogs that you see today never existed. There was no pit bull in ancient times. There was no German shepherd. There was no Great Danes. There were wolves. So the wolf was the original dog. Thank you, my dear. The wolf was the original dog, and that's why in religion, starting off with the Catholics, the first Catholic religion, or the Christianity as a whole, religion as a whole for the Europeans, was called Ma Dog, or dogma. Dogma, that creates the word, that's from dog again, right? That's the dogma. And then they gave you the concept, and all this is from Apep. All this is from the second principle. All this is the influence of the negative reality that's now placed into this society. So they tell you that a dog makes a sound. What sound does a dog make? They'll tell you that it makes a sound bow, bow, wow, but that's impossible because dogs can't put their lips together to make the letter B. They can't do it. So they don't make the song bow, wow, bow. Baal is actually the name of one of their gods of power, right? That's called Baal or Baal, right? And this was Baal was an Anglo-Saxon paganism associated with barley and agriculture. Barley and agriculture, right? That's the Baal of grain, right? So the Baal of grain. We're going to click that off right there. And I'm going to stop sharing. And now we're going to understand how this really ties in. So we understand that the second principle is having people focus on the second most important thing as opposed to the first. So in Kemet, the first most important was Ra the Nitiru, and then coming in as the jealous second wanting to take place was two beings. One was Apep, who wanted to take the place of Ra and destroy him, and then one became Set. Set, who wanted to take the place of Osiris or Osar. So they become the second principle, which is why they have you focus on the number 2 and the second most important thing, which is why the letter B ends your so-called alphabet and the second starts time period. Well, the second became the Baba and the Apepa, which became shown in tarot cards, which originally was a female. Let me go ahead and show you that. I'm going to share the screen, and I'll go ahead and show you that, and we'll take a look at here we go. Okay, so here's the Apep influence. It becomes this called the Papis. So the Papis, which became a playing card, a tarot card, was called La Papis, or the Pope. When you look at the La Papis playing card, or tarot card as they call it, you'll see a few interesting things. You'll see the number 2 on the top, right here. 2 lines, there's your 11. That's your 11 because that's the number of the Pope. That's the Pep, the Pep. 2 P's are 2 letter B's, the same thing, coming from Apep, influencing our world today because now we have the Pope, which took the position of Apep. And when you look at this symbol here, you'll see this person is holding a book with a yin yang. And if you ask anybody what yin yang is, everybody will tell you yin yang is the symbol of duality. A large black with a little bit of white dot and a large white with a little bit of black dot, duality. And that's why the Apep card, or the Papis card, is holding this book. They show you that it comes from Kemet because right there hidden at the bottom of the card is a Harakuti. The Harakuti, which the Europeans call the Sphinx. And you can see the Harakuti right there, or the winged lion hiding right underneath the Pope. That was the symbol that began the outlook into the universe. Okay? It began the outlook into the universe because if you look at the Harakuti or the Sphinx, it points directly. It begins what's called the Zep Tepi. So the Zep Tepi was a period of time around 36,420 years ago. And that was the time of the Nitiru, when the Nitiru ruled. But the Zep Tepi began when the Sphinx pointed directly to what the Europeans today call the Leo star constellation, because the Sphinx was a lion, which was Re. When the Europeans came into it, they turned the letter R into an L. The Re became Li, and then Li became Leo. And that's where you get the word lion from. Okay, so the Sphinx pointed up to the Leo star constellation, and that began the time of the Zep Tepi, or the time of the precession, which is a period of 25,920 years, which is because the axis of the Earth goes into a around 2,400 time period through 12 houses, and when you add them up, it's 25,920 year cycle to complete a full 12 house cycle. And that began with this creature right here. This is a creature, but the original symbol of the Sphinx was the beginning time period on the marker of the beginning of the Nitiru's time. So they have this cat under here. So this cat represented a universal symbol. A universal symbol. Let me see if I can go here and go to etymology. Okay. And we'll just type in Catholic. Type in Catholic and click on it and see what it says here. And we see that it is from universal. You see? Universal, which comes from the word universe, or they say something that encompasses all. Catholic, and they say it comes from holos, or whole, which is a whole, as in a circle, a complete thing, 360 degrees. That is the precession. That is a 25,900 degree time period that it takes the axis to go into a complete whole, shown by the holy cat, the holy cat, which is the what they call the Sphinx, or the Harakuti, Temra, which points to the constellation that they called Leo, associated with the lion, making a complete circle every 25,920 years. Okay, this holy cat became known as the universal symbol, or the beginning of the concept of something pointing up into the universe to mark time, and then that eventually became the cat holistic, or the universe symbol, which became the Catholics. The Catholics, which was the universal or general, thinking that it would contain all, because they wanted the Catholic symbol to be universally accepted. Just like Ma'at was accepted all along the Nile, they wanted this religion to be universally accepted. And of course, if it's universally accepted, that's a one world order, because you have one father over, which is the Apep, or the Pope, which is the number 2. And if this is universally accepted religion, that means the Pope controls all. And that is their end goal, is for the Pope to control all. So we go back to the image of the... So there's your holy cat. There's your cat holistic. So there's your Sphinx right there. There's your yin yang. And you go up to the top, and there's your number 2 right there. And if you come down here, you're going to see a checkerboard. See the checkerboard right there? That's the checkerboard that Meghan Markle and that prince was married on. That's a checkerboard of so many things. But the checkerboard is duality. Black, white, black. You see it? Now look underneath the checkerboard, and you'll see the letter B. This became known as the Hebrew letter B, which is the second letter. You see that right there? I'm going to wave my mouse over it. This is the Hebrew letter B. You see? So the papis, or the Pope, represents the negative side of duality. And that is why when you look up the Pope from Apep, you get 7 7 11 11. You see that there? This is then geometry, Pope, which is Pope, which is 56. And it is 11. Why? Because 5 plus 6 is 11. There's your duality. There's your dukes. There's your duo. There's your baba. There's your abeb. And there's your apep, the negative side of reality, affecting the whole world, because the Catholic religion, the first form of Christianity, is what's controlling everyone that is religious, because all of your Christian religion and Islam comes out of Catholicism. You see? Comes out of Catholicism, and that's why all your religious books begin with the letter B. You see? So if you're a Christian, your book is a Bible. That's the letter B. If you're a Hebrew, then your first book is called Bereshit. Your book begins with Bereshit, with the letter B. If you are a Muslim, you believe that your Quran begins off Bismillah el-Rahman el-Rahim. Bismillah, with the letter B. So all 3 monotheistic religions start off with the letter B, and that is the duality, and that is the Apep, or the Baba. Okay? So there is your Pope, which is influenced by Apep, which is influencing the whole world as we see it, as we have it. Okay? And we're going to go over something. Well, I don't even know if I have time, because I want to get to a bunch of chats. I was going to show you some shapeshifters. I'm going to show you some things, but we'll just go into this. Now, Mandarin has already seen some of this, so we'll just get into this really quickly and show this. Okay, if you look at this is a very interesting symbol here. It looks like a building, but the building, of course, is a symbol because it's not shaped like any other building in the neighborhood. This is in the Vatican. What is this? What are we looking at here? We're looking at a serpent's head. or Apep's head. You'll see there that Burmese pythons or snakes have this thing in front of their face that looks like a nose. There's not a nose. It actually goes along both sides of the face, but you can visibly see it on the front while looking down, and they're actually heat sensors. That's how they catch their food, and that's why when you look at this symbol, you'll see the eye right here on the side, and then you look in the front and you'll see the opening right there, and we'll see that this is all in squares, which represent the scales with the heat sensors and everything to boot. Inside this building, this is what the inside of the building looks like, which of course you can see the two eyes. You can see you see a snake. You see the fangs right there. And this was the inside of the building. So this building is designed to represent the Apep. Here it is right here. And now you can even see the tongue with the fangs. And this is the Catholics. These is the Vatican, which are worshippers of Dagan and Apep, influencing the world under the energy of Apep to this day. Okay, that is inside of there. This is different images of the inside of there. You can even see the serpent's tongue and the two eyes with even red dots, like a serpent, red dots in the middle of the eyes right there. And this represents the Apep. Okay, so when you look at the inside of this building, you'll see the Pope there. He sits inside the mouth. So he sits inside the mouth of the Apep because he represents the voice in the garden of the serpent talking, which is supposed to be negative, but this Pope is inside of the Apep's mouth, and that's where he gives his sermon or his lecture from. Now, if you look on top of him, you'll see this thing flying above, a very interesting thing inside of a bunch of things that look like skulls and dead bodies. And when you change the shading of this image, you can see it much clearer. And of course, it looks like a reptilian flying above with the wings and all, and the dinosaur type head with the shedding skin flying above the Pope right here, or the Apep. That's his father. That's his influence right there. The Apep right there. Okay. And then, of course, if you blow this up and look at it closely, you'll see that they actually designed this with Jesus's head, right? Jesus being the second most important in the religion, because God, of course, would be the first most important. And then Jesus comes after and becomes a God on earth who becomes the second. So thus they have you focusing on the number 2 or the letter B again, which is Apep's symbolism. And then you have, of course, if you ask a Christian, what is the most important section in the Bible, they'll tell you the second part. You see, they'll tell you that the Bible is made up of 2 parts, the Old Testament, which is the first, and then the New Testament, which of course is the second principle. And that's why when you walk up to a Christian, most of them are focused and quote on the second half of it. But you'll understand that there's no archaeological record of the Bible being separated into 2 sections. That means that no indigenous people in ancient times ever called those sets of books the Old Testament and the New Testament. Europeans under Catholic influence again, Christian influence again, comes and they say, oh, here's a book. We're going to make this book duality. The first set of books were 72. We're going to make it 66. Okay, so now it's 66 books, which is 6 doubled, which is duality. And let's actually cut the book in half. Let's actually make the book 2 sections, Old Testament and the New Testament, even though no ancient people ever put those books together and divided into 2. So here you have Jesus, which represents the second principle, who represents the number 2. And here he is. You see his face looking sad and weird, but then beside his face, you see this like alligator type face connected to his head. You see the eyes, you see the mouth. It looks very strange. This Jesus looks very scary. His skin, this looks like a reptile right here. Okay, this is the reptilian imagery that you see, which is all influenced by the Apep energy that is controlling everybody right now. And this Apep energy is based on the reptilian amphibious energy, which can actually change sexes. If you understand reptiles and amphibians, reptilians and amphibians can change sexes. I've actually had snakes that have changed sexes on me. Their eggs actually change sexes based on the heat temperature. So they actually can change sexes, and they represent the reptilians' energy represents a being that can have sex at an extremely young age. It can also shape shift into different, they can change their shape, their form into different things. And this reptilian energy then comes into the Pope's energy. But first, this gets released. So you see this like winding. This is a unclassified law enforcement sensitive Federal Bureau investigation. Symbols and logos used by pedophiles to identify with sexual preferences. There's boy love, girl love, and then you see these symbols right here. Right, of course, they take the winding rope serpent symbol, and they take the pyramid symbol, the Aku symbol, and they take it and mutate it into their little boy lover, LBL, little boy lover, and little girl lover. Okay, very interesting symbolism. But this same symbolism is found on the Apep reptilian type worshiper, which is wearing the exact same symbolism on his garments, the Apep, or the Apophis, or the Pope. So this influence, let me go back to the screen here. This Apophis, or this Apep type influence, I still have this on the screen. Hold on, everybody. This Apep type influence is most definitely influencing the entire world. All of the religions, the Bible, the Quran, all of this, the popes, the babas, all of this is being influenced by this Apep type energy. And I may even give you guys a little jewel and actually show you a group that has come out that's called the grain. Because remember, the dog was a word that meant fish and also meant grain, the grains. And there's a group that came out that's called the Grain, and they are promoting themselves as reptilian Christians, as reptilian spiritualists online. I may give you guys that jewel and actually show you a live shapeshifter. But I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to give a little bit more Mandarin. If you want to ask anything more in detail, that's fine. But I want to get on to some more. But yes, this energy exists inside of all of us. Because the oldest part of our brain is actually named after a reptilian. It's called the reptilian brain. And it's the oldest part of our brain. It deals with how reptilians actually work. So reptiles are actually a little bit different from mammalians, and much different from human, quote unquote, human mammalians, because of their lack of emotion and lack of love and concern for their fellow reptile. They actually have absolutely none. They only have a concern with their eggs, and after the eggs are born, they have absolutely no concern whatsoever. They are based on what's called the fight or flight aspect, which is attack, protect, get out of there. Attack, protect, get out of there. That's why in the reptile world, we never call any reptile, we don't call them aggressive. We don't call aggressive. They're defensive. They're defensive because they're actually defending themselves because they think they're going to die. So no snake actually goes out hunting humans and is aggressive towards humans. They are defensive because they base on a fight or flight. Well, the oldest part of our brain in the back of our head is called the reptilian brain, and it's based on a fight or flight, which automatically puts the brain in what's called the beta wavelength. So your neurons give off light, and as the lights become similar, those lights create frequencies which then connect with each other and create wavelengths, and that creates the alpha, the beta, the delta, the theta, and the beta wavelength is the wavelength of fight or flight, which is the reptilian wavelength, because the fight or flight that existed in animals existed in reptiles first, because reptiles were here for millions of years before there were animals. So they're the first creature that had the fight or flight. They existed way before monkeys, baboons, dogs, cats, rats, us. They're the first, amphibians and reptiles. So guess what? This fight or flight energy that's inside of all of us activates our brain to vibrate on what wavelength? What's it called? The B. The B wavelength, the end of the alphabet, the beta wavelength. You'll see there's a strong movement now for males to be called beta males. We'll get into that later. But it's the beta wavelength, and the beta wavelength is the wavelength of fear and protection. So that is the letter B, which is why religion, Christianity, Islam, is based on fear. It's based on fear to keep you in the beta wavelength, because if you do bad, Big Papa or Big Apep, Big God will come and kill you. See, the ancient ones never taught that. We never taught that if you were bad, Ra's going to come and kill you in the afterlife. That was never taught by the ancients. But you do bad, and then Papa God comes and throws you in the fiery pit with the devil and burns you, and he created hell and he created the devil. We never had that. That was a concept created to be controlled by one man called the Apep or the Pope. And if that one man creates or controls the fear, then that means that his world controls the nation. And that is the one world order under a Pope or under one man to control people through the fear of the religious God. But it's to put you in that beta wavelength, the letter B. That's the whole focus, to have you on the letter B, the beta wavelength, which is the wavelength of a reptile. Reptiles are constantly in fear. You have to tame them and calm them. And even then, they're constantly in fear. They'll never be emotionally attached to you, because they always in the back of their mind think that you, their so-called owner, is going to kill them. But we have that same thing inside of us, and it's based on fear. We also have an energy that's inside of us that connects through nodal points, through what's called the 7 mehis, that the Indians call chakras, which comes from the word Qar, Q-A-R, which became Q-A-L, and that eventually mutated into the term whole, which is what chakra became, a spinning hole or a spinning wheel. And the 7 circle points had energy starting from the bottom that they called the coiled serpent, and that was called the Kundalini, controlled your energy to be associated or sympathetic with somebody. That's where you get the word kind from. Kind, which means to treat somebody nicely because you were familiar with them. They look like you. The word familiar came from the word family, and that's why families are called people of your kin, because kin developed the word kind, and that's why those who are alike that are humans are called mankind. And kind is when you treat somebody nice or something nice because you are familiar with them. You're familiar with them. So that is being kind, which comes from the word Kundalini, which was symbolic of an energy that sat in your root area and then worked its way up and looked like a serpent. That energy can be positive or negative, because you can build up negative serpent energy. We've all felt it. And you can build up positive serpent energy. It is the duality based on the number 2. Once again, you know me, I can keep going on. We're going to stop right there. I'm going to look. So shout out to you, Amanda. And of course, if you want to know any more detail on the Apep energy that's definitely within us, it's definitely outside of us, it's definitely controlling us in this unfortunate matrix that we're in, you could definitely send me a direct message and I'll get into it more. But I want to this is a class for everybody. I don't want to take up too much time just on the one question, but I think the amount of information I gave just on that should give everybody enough information to go research for weeks. And if I feel like it, I think I'm even going to show the the reptilian religious group that's out there doing all type of genetic shifting with themselves. But I'm going to make it fair and get on to everybody that just came to the room. Thank you for coming. Welcome to the Tehuti Podclass. We have no drama. We have no insults. We have no rah-rah. I have been, I would say, due to my evolution, I have evolved to just be able to answer questions in a thorough type fashion, because as a child I separated myself from society. I never got the college life. I never got the the smoking the weed, the hanging out, all the stuff. I actually from the time where that life was supposed to start, I separated myself and came back as an adult. I separated myself, went into a major study, went into a major connecting with nature, taking my children on walks with alligators out and about, and catching fish, catching crabs, bringing them home and cooking them. And I separated, and so all the youth life where everybody was having fun, smoking and drinking, I haven't drank any cup or anything of my life. So I separated myself. So due to me sacrificing when people were having fun in those times, I replaced it with a wealth of knowledge and a matrix breaking thinking. So by the time I came back as an adult, while everybody else was having the fun and the rah-rah, by the time we met all back up, I just became a little more thorough and advanced, because I sacrificed things that a lot of people would not have sacrificed when they had access to the fun life. I didn't have the fun life like that. So because of that, here we are. And I set this up for everybody to come and ask questions. And of course, if something's asked that I don't know, I will just simply say, hey, great, I don't know. There'll be no argument. There'll be no and all this gish gallop stuff. I just will move on to the question that I know. But when I do know something, it will be answered thoroughly with dates, references, language, and such. And I want everybody to be as such, because I believe if everybody is similar to that type of thinking, then the religious arguments will disappear. I think it will just naturally happen that if you're just on research, facts, history, dates, then eventually the religion will disappear. And then once that religion disappears, we can get back to original spirituality. Okay. Let me go ahead and look at the, so thank you, Mandarin, for the question. I'm glad you appreciated the answer. The chat room is moving faster than I can even read it, at least on my end. Hey, Stranger's here. Shout out to Stranger. Now it says, people of ancient times had full cups and took mind-altering substances, just to be clear. Okay. Full cups of something. Full cups of something. But no. So me personally, I'm not going to take a full cup of Heineken and get drunk like my friends were doing and take substances and come back with no information. That is my test to people as well. Is I say, okay, you do it your way, and I'll do it my way. And then we'll meet up and we'll share knowledge. You go ahead and take all this stuff and do all this stuff and come get high and say you're reaching the higher planes. And then we'll meet and I'll let you take over the class. And not you, stranger, but it's just the people that say they do these things and reach these levels. And it'll go up and wonderful. And then I'll come to the... come to your class, and I'm going to ask you questions and see how much that higher information was able to channel information for us to raise ourselves. So me, myself, I didn't partake in that. While my friends were saying that, they were taking smoking weed and doing the stuff. We're reaching the levels, man. Hey, we're reaching the high. We got to tap into the nature and all this. And I'm saying, okay, keep tapping in. We'll meet up again when we're 40, and then you break down what you got from the higher planes, and I'll break down what I got from my direction, and we'll just compare the facts that we got. Okay, so Robert Reyes, peace to you, peace to strangers, peace to Ahati Ma'at, peace to everybody. Ahati Ma'at is one of the moderators. They will all get their wrenches next week. I was not able to put their wrenches in the room. Right, okay, send it, let me know. I was not able to put their names in the with the wrench because of in the beginning of this class there was technical difficulties. The actual whole show shut down and the computer shut off. It was too chaotic, so I didn't have time for that. But those are the people you can ask questions to about where websites are, as far as my my debates, classes, recent things I've done. And basic things there. So shout out to everybody that supported. So we have, of course, Creamation. This light is getting bright on me. Shout out to, not Creamation, I'm sorry. Kemet 101, thank you so much. Kemet 101. Oh yeah, let's get that light. That's right. Okay, thank you. Ooh, these lights are getting bright. 1 second, everyone, please. I'm a one-man show, trying to answer questions while also being the engineer, the light person, the sound person, and all of this. Let me see something here. Yeah, that can be off. I just won't look that way. Okay, I just won't look that way. 1 second, everybody. And then I gotta take a break in a moment. Okay, okay, everyone, let me do something here. Sorry, everyone. Okay, so let me go to what is it called? What was it called? Kufu. So shout out to the brother Kemet. He has an interesting question, and I'm going to actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to step for a second. Ahati Ma'at, are you here in the room? Oh, Mighty Hebrew is here. Peace, Mighty Hebrew. Peace, Mighty Hebrew. Ahati Ma'at, are you here? Press 1. Ahati Ma'at. If you are here, press 1. Robert Reyes. Is Ahati Ma'at in the room? Okay. Everybody give me if you Bill Gates said he's seen him. Oh, Ahati Ma'at, okay, good. Ahati Ma'at, I'm gonna put this in here for just a moment. Oh, now I can't put it in. Okay, everybody, this is for you, Ahati Ma'at. come in here for a moment. Look at this. Oh, okay. Okay. So I'm going to take a quick break for a moment, everyone. I'll be right back in a second. Right back in a moment. Like I said, I'm a one-man show. So I'm going to put this on for a quick moment. And I will be right back. And I will get to Kemet and everybody that sent in the super chats and the cash apps and everything. I'll put on an old video real quick. Here's a video of this person that years ago used to stalk me. As a Christian that used to stalk me, this European man used to literally stalk me, trying to trap me, asking me questions and all this stuff. So I finally let him sit with me, and I answered, and I questioned him. I'm going to play this for a small moment until I get back into the room. I will be back in just a moment. And you all can be entertained by this while I am out of the room, just to show you the strangeness of how religion thinks and how religion is. Okay, here we go. I'll go ahead and share. And this is also on my channel here. Welcome to everybody new that came in the room. I will be back in just a moment. And I'll put this on for now. Give me a scientific explanation of Noah's Ark.
Oh, I couldn't do that.
I thought that's what you said. You said Noah's Ark has a...
The measurements are in the Bible. You know that.
Oh, I thought you said science verifies Noah's Ark. That's what I think you're the first Christian.
They actually have found it. In the mountains of Ararat, Turkey.
Do you believe that it's possible for two of every species on the whole Earth to go into a 450-foot boat?
Yep.
Yeah?
I don't know how it was done, but it was done.
Do you believe that God...
Do you believe that the Earth was flooded?
Several times.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How many times do you think?
I would say a minimum of 3 times. Minimum.
Why?
Because of water erosion found on the Sphinx, because of the melting of the polar ice caps, and the Ice Age itself. There's been many floods, and it's reported in ancient Babylonian history that there was floods, yeah, and with the Mayans also. But
what do you think the biggest one occurred?
The largest one would have to have been 10,000 years ago. But do you believe that God used science? Okay, this is what I want to know about the Noah's Ark thing. Okay, God could have easily just made all the animals and everybody just hover in space while the flood came, right? But for some reason, he used science. He told Noah to build a boat. That boat was able to float.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can read it. Nice camera, by the way.
I found it.
Does it work good?
I don't know. I don't know how it operates. I don't know how it operates.
First you gotta turn it on.
I had one of these before.
So he used the laws of physics to protect mankind and animals. Is that correct?
One family in.
Right. He didn't use miracles, did he? In the
God's above miracles.
Oh well.
Miracle is to us.
Okay, supernatural powers.
Yeah.
Did God use supernatural powers to protect the animals and humans, or did he use the laws of physics? In the Noah's Ark story.
Well, we call it supernatural power because it's above us, but he actually went above the laws of physics and did the work that he did throughout creation.
I'm talking about in the Noah's Ark story. Was there any supernatural powers used in, or was it just a boat? 2 of every kind, 7, 2 of every clean, 2 of every clean, 7 of every unclean.
Yep.
So he used pairing up in sexuality. Yep. He used boats. difficult to use rain to drown. These are all things that are within the laws of physics, yes?
Yeah.
So in the Noah's Ark story, did God have to use any supernatural powers, or did he just use physics to do the job? Rain, drowning, a boat? Did he use supernatural powers to help Noah and the animals?
Well, he did protect them.
Well, but not
Caused the boat to float.
the boats float. But I mean, the laws of physics say boats float. That's not a supernatural.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I don't see any supernatural occurrence in the Noah's Ark story to protect Noah and his family. I'm not saying that's wrong or anything. I'm just saying that
Yeah, I know.
I see the laws of physics. So would you agree that God did not use supernatural powers to protect Noah and his family? Is there any reference to it in the
My
Bible?
limited knowledge on the surface, yes.
Okay. In the Bible, is there any reference to God using supernatural powers to protect Noah and his family?
I thought you just
Yeah, well, now I'm asking in the Bible. Have you ever
I
seen?
thought we're talking about the Bible.
Okay, fine. So the answer is no. God did not use.
To my knowledge, yeah, to my limited knowledge.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Okay. Question. I have a question on that. Okay. Mount Everest. Mount Everest?
Oh, it's not in the world.
Yeah. It's around 29,000 feet.
Yeah.
At 29,000 feet in the air, you have ice caps on the top of the mountain. The reason being is as you get higher up into the atmosphere, it gets colder.
Yeah.
Mount Everest, in some occasions, gets to negative 30, negative 40 degrees at the top of the peak. Now, according to the Bible story, it says that the flood covered all of the highest mountains. Is that correct?
Yep.
So that means that Noah...
Some people believe that the flood was limited in its scope and its perimeter.
Well, according to the Bible, it was to kill all mankind.
Yeah, but mankind hadn't spread all over the earth.
Right.
So it was probably limited in geography.
But he killed all the animals, didn't he? Or are there some animals...
So again, we're probably limited to an area in that...
Well, in order for the flood to reach over all the highest mountains, even if we're not talking about everywhere, but all the highest mountains, Mount Everest must be included because that's the highest mountain.
Well, I don't know.
Even a mountain even smaller than Mount Everest, 20,000 feet, not even 29,000 feet, at 20,000 feet in the air, do you know how cold it is at that
Minus 40.
yeah. So you believe that there was an ark that was 20,000 feet above sea level, covering the highest mountains in the even Arafat, even those mountains. Ararat, even those mountains.
Arafat's dead.
Yeah. So even those mountains. What was the temperature in the ark?
Oh, I wouldn't know that.
Well, according to science, according to...
It had to be an appropriate temperature for everything.
Well,
Everything.
right. So there's no appropriate temperature for animals 20,000 to 29,000 feet in the air. Animals don't live 29,000 feet in the air because it's too cold. Maybe a polar bear, maybe a seal. But even them, they don't live that high in the air. But how about tropical lions? Can a tropical lion live for 40 days and 40 nights in negative 30 degrees? Because that's how cold it is at that high latitude. How about cold-blooded reptiles that need heat, that need the sun's heat?
You would have to ask the scientists these questions.
Okay. So does it make sense to you that Noah and his animals were...
Okay. I am back. Whoop. I am back. Let me get the peace, everyone. Yeah, so that was my conversation with a religious person who believed... Peace, everyone. That was my conversation several years ago with a religious person that was stalking me to try to find contradiction in my teachings, and I ended up asking him some questions about Noah's Ark, and he was definitely
dumbfounded. Definitely dumbfounded. We're going to do a mic check again. Press 1 if you can hear me. Please, 1 if you can hear me. Press a 1 if you can hear me. Okay, let me put in great. 1 if you can hear me. We got Danny can't hear me. I want to make sure everybody's on a 1. Oh, Danny can. Danny pressed a 1 now. Okay, good. Good. One us. Okay, wonderful. Okay, and let me get back to the screen here. I see everybody can hear me. About. Okay, boom. Okay, let me get to Kemet. This light is too bright. Okay. Let me get to Kemet. Where's Kemet? Let me get to my email and see this awesome question that the brother asked, and he asked just to show something really. So I'm gonna go ahead and show his super chat, aka his his Cash App support. Thank you, brother Kemet. And I'm going to go ahead and show that on the screen because I want to give everybody the proper just due. And I have to do all this manually. Thank you, YouTube. I have to do it manually, but it's all good. It's all fun. Keeps the mind sharp. Here we go. Okay, Podclass. And February 4th, that's today. And we'll put this as number 1. Okay, let me get to the screen. So shout out for your support, Kemet. I'm going to go ahead and put you on there. And okay. Thank you, my dear. Okay, 1 second, everyone. Oh, Hati Ma'ad, are you in the room? Hati Ma'ad, I see him, but I can't. 1 second, everyone. I'm going to put a Hati Ma'ad on for a quick second, and then I'm going to be back to go through this. Just give me a second. I am taking care of all technicalities on my own while answering these questions. Let me see, Podclass. February 4th, and we're going to get into this beautiful question that this brother asked. Is this him right here? Okay. All right, everybody, this is Hati Ma'ad. He's going to speak for a few moments, and I'll be right back in a second. I just have to blank my screen for just a moment. Bear with us. I'll be right back, and thank you for the 124 people that are in the chat or watching. And we're going to get into all of these topics. I'll be right back. Okay, Hati Ma'ad, go ahead, my brother. I'll be back in about a minute and a half.
All right, peace, everybody.
Oh, I need my headphones.
I'm a Hati Ma'ad, and I'm one of Tehuti's students. And I just want to give him praise for coming into my life and changing it. And he deserves to get the same worship that our ancestors gave to their Neteru or Neter. Worship is something that if you grew up in the United States like myself, or if you grew up in any Western society, we've been told that if we worship another being like ourselves, that somehow it makes you less than a man, or that it's something that's bad. It's like arrogant. They call it arrogant. But as you'll come to learn when you're learning from the master teacher, these words, when you look them up, they only start coming into play during the 13, 14, and 1500s. Prior to that, there were no words called arrogance and worship and none of these things. Worship just means to encourage somebody, to lift them up. So if this teaching is really working for you and it's explaining a lot of things and answering a lot of questions, then there's nothing wrong with worshiping this being, because he's actually lifting you up. He's raising your consciousness. So I'm very proud of him. I know from our secret conversations that we had years ago that there's a lot of risk he's taking by doing this. In the beginning, I was actually surprised that he even decided to come on to what is known as a Lion's Den. It's ran by by a Hebrew Israelite named JJ 7000, who I met first, and JJ heard me speak. He actually interviewed me, and he liked what I had to say, and I attributed what I said not to myself, but I told him, I relayed to him that I was taught by the great Amenhotep Ra, now known as Tehuti Amenhotep Ra. So since JJ liked what I said, he wanted to hear the guy that actually taught me. And then most of you that are here already know that Tehuti went to Lion's Den and became undefeated. And it's the first time in that I know of, online, offline, and any type of art history, where somebody that's representing Kemet comes into a Hebrew establishment and reigns for as long as the great Amenhotep Ra. So our ancestors used to do a symbol, some of you might know. It's called the Hanu symbol. Or you see the Germans took it, and I'm not going to say much because his channel will get banned, but there's a famous German man that did this too, and then the people that followed him saluted him too, out of love. Well, that symbol actually comes from Kemet. It's called the Hanu, or the hen. It comes from the word hen, H-E-N, or H-E-N-N-U. And it simply means to worship. It simply means when I lift up my hand like this, I'm giving worship, similar to the Ka giving worship to Ra, the sun.
Okay.
So he's back. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm glad everybody came out tonight. And I hope you continue to have a great night after the show's over. Peace.
Peace, Ahati Mahat. Thank you, brother. Stay on deck. Stay in the back. I'm going to switch the screens up. And thank you, my good brother. Okay, so I'll keep you in the back room, and we're gonna go ahead and answer some questions. Thank you, my good brother. Peace and love. Okay, and I think this is there it is. Okay, everybody, there is Kemet, Dan Kemet 101 sent a $25 Cash App. Thank you for the support, my brother. And can you show the boats in Kemet used on the ocean? Now, I'm gonna show some ancient boats, the limitations of what they were used on. Most of them were just used along the Nile Valley. I want to show everybody the first known boat, especially the first known one in Kemet. And I'm going to make some points, and then I'm going to show a video showing proof that the Kemetians did travel on the ocean. Let me go ahead and show this to everyone. Once again, I do the simplest research that can be found, and then we move into some other things. Okay, so let me go ahead and close this up.
Let me go ahead and go to the room and go back here. Okay. Let me shrink this down. Okay, it's coming back in French. Hold on. Interesting. Okay. I'll go ahead and share the screen so you can look at the oldest boat. Now this is interesting because, well, I'll say why it's interesting afterwards. Let me go ahead and show this. It's factual archaeology here. And we'll look at this right here. Okay. So we have here a boat of Khufu. Now we know that the boats in Kemet traveled along the Nile, and it's one of the things that I used in my debate with a gentleman named Unc West to show the limitations of the ability to carry large stones of several tons on some of these boats, which were just kind of rowing boats, rowboats that were found that people used to travel along the Nile. So this is Pharaoh Khufu, and I want to give the time period, and then I want to make an interesting point. So this is one of the oldest boats, and I'm going to show, this one is 2500 BC. Around 2500 BC. Let's actually pull up Khufu and pull up the, okay, here we go. So Khufu, intact full-size solar bark that was sealed in a pit around 2500 BC. Okay, so that's 2500 BC. I'm also going to show some of these boats here. And here's some boats right here. So these boats were used along the Nile Valley. These are the most common boats that you can find. Some of them are much larger, but these are the boats that we can find. The actual boats and more of the replicas that the Kemetians would make and the drawings of it. And I was using this to show that there's no way that you could put several ton blocks on these boats. They would actually sink. Okay, now I want to show something very interesting here, and people can make of it what they wish. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on here, and I hope everybody can hear. I'm going to go ahead and take the headphones out, and I'm going to go ahead and play this. Hopefully this plays.
In New South Wales, we're looking for the Egyptian hieroglyphs, which is supposed to be carved into some sandstone rock down this trail.
Is it showing?
Now, if you're trying to find it, check this out. This is kind of like the entrance here. It's basically a dirt road off the main road and through this gate. Now, we're not sure even if this is the right way at the moment, but we're going to obviously go down here to the fork where you go left. Then you go 300 meters down there, and then it's on your left again, apparently, and then you have to hunt around for them. So hopefully we'll find them. So
Okay.
come back and continue filming in a little while.
Oh, I'm so busy. I don't even know. I haven't been to my emails. Much.
It looks like we found the fork. Probably about.
So I'm going to fast forward this. So they are in the Australia, and they're going down, and when they go down into this cavern,
Whatever it is above me, like bird or something, goes down there. I've looked all the way down there. There's nothing. Can't find the hieroglyphs down there. Beautiful trees as well. I really do wonder if this was chosen to, like, because of significance.
fast forward a little bit. They go into the caves, they crawl in.
We found the hieroglyphs. You can kind of see them behind me. Now, it's quite tricky to get to, but you go past the big, massive, weird-looking pale tree, make your way up, and there's a little gap in the rocks which you can just see. And luckily, we bumped into someone. I asked them, and they showed us where it was, and we found them. So I've got GPS coordinates. It's getting late, it's getting dark, so we're going to come back tomorrow to have a proper look at these and go and spend the night in Gosford because this is just too interesting. There's very strange glyphs here. I'll just show you a few of them now just to give you an example. Looks like some kind of hand, a bird there with something underneath it. I'm not quite sure how to describe that. These look very odd. I mean, they're very big. They're much bigger than I expected. But they're clearly here, and you can't deny they're here. I wonder why they put them in this hidden space, but they did. And it's quite fascinating, regardless when they were done. I mean, there is evidence that they were done back in the 50s now. I mean, there is some evidence from Steve Strong. He's got like a signed sworn statement that someone actually did see these in the 1950s. Although originally they were kind of discovered in the 1970s, but the guy who found them, apparently, he said that more were being added after he discovered them. So I find it really interesting that either people were adding to them later, or they were just done in the 70s, or people may have said they may have been here for thousands of years, and maybe when they were discovered and the site was known about, people would come here and put their own ones in on top. So some of them may be original, and some of them may be complete fakes. Well, they could be all fakes, or they could be all original. The jury's out, but we're going to get some good shots of them. We're going more evidence is coming forth thanks to us.
Okay, I'm gonna put. I'm gonna go ahead and put this here, and then we're gonna take a look at this here.
Hello, world. Welcome back. I'm Carl. And welcome back to this magnificent backdrop. We visited back in the 11th month in last year, 2014. And so it's time to revisit these glyphs. And on this time, what we're going to do is I'm going to go in a bit more detail and let's read them.
Can you get some of that?
Previously, I didn't do that. Did that on purpose. The idea was to, of course, dumb it down to make it less believable. So here's an opportunity. We won't get this twice, so we'll just go fast now, right from the bottom. Okay, so what we're looking down here, Ben? Okay. So down here what we're seeing is, we've got this. We've got, we the servants of the king's God, her words, the ruler, girl, chief, the priest, scribes, and the watchful eye of Horus write these words. Bad news. We came here across the sea, D-Jet-4, to this place in a solar boat, not a sunboat, to carry empty basket. Across the sea, we passed this fish god for this place, part of Egypt, the fish god, to get this man, D-Jed, Snefru, from the land of D-Jed Snefru, this place, child of Ra, Egyptian. We, all of us, in this place, part of Egypt, in the moon of the moon god Thoth, the place for Didi and the Haru, to take Snefru, the Egyptian, in goodwill, the chief of this land, to meet the king of Egypt, the girl Khufu. Move down, shall I, Ben? Okay. Down here, Ben. Here, the god Amun. Here, the god Re. The Re shining on Amun, this becomes the god Umun Ra. Umun Ra. This is his time tool. Ra in this place, summoned by Djefthal, here to stop time. Over here, along with Khufu, the purest, 100 souls Egyptian, the most efficient, the brightest and bravest across the sea, in here eternal with the God King of Egypt. Down here, the god Ptah, the god looking after those who are dead, the god of the underworld, the mummy god Ptah, placed underneath in the shade to be not in the direct light. This god can't exist in the sun, hence the roof above our head. The god Zeth, a curse, watching the door, the sign for death. This god is protecting all these people from anything at all. The god Zeth, evil god, walking down. Okay, moving to here. Somebody's dead. This is heaven. This is Horus in heaven, small one. Small Horus in heaven means very bad. Somebody's dead. This person here, this is age, giving you age. This is a human. This is in spirit. This person is dead. This is bad news, not good news at all. This person now, protected by the sitting god with the moon, put inside the mountains, looked after by the god Khepri, joined with Ra, offered to heaven, the gods, soul taken. So once again, this person of this age, past, they're dead, this isn't good. Looked after now by the local god here with the moon, put inside of the mountains, guarded by Khepri, joined with Ra, offered to heaven and the gods, the soul taken. Down here now, Stickman. This one here, pseudo prince.
Okay, I'm going to pause it right here, ladies and gentlemen, because this is actually very long. This is called, you can look them up, these are called the Gosford. Let me get back to the screen here. These are called the Gosford glyphs. And they're still researching this. They're still studying this. They say that some things have been added after the 70s. They're still researching this, but this is some interesting Medunetter story. Let me get back to the screen here. This is some interesting Medunetter story, which is describing Khufu's supposed trip all the way over into the Australias. I'm just here giving you information that you can go look up and research. So the oldest boat that we have is Khufu's. Most of the boats that we see are Nile River boats, but then we have the Gosford glyphs where they have a story in Medunetter in a cave of someone who passed, and they're writing about their lord and king Khufu, who made this travels over there. Take it as you wish. This is just information that we all research and study. And I'm here to give you all of the available information that I have on the topic and the Kemetians doing their travels or the supposed travels. And then from there, you can go do your research. So thank you. Let me get back to the comments. Thank you, Brother Kemet, for that question. Thank you for the support. If you have anything more specific, send in the Cash app, or you can actually just ask now. You've already sent in the Cash app. If you want to type something more specific, you can. We got the brother Intuitive Fugitive said, it's been a long day. Okay, we're going to continue with these because we're going to get through. Once again, for those people who just came in the room, this is a class where you can send in your Cash App and PayPal questions. I will do my best to answer them. We'll go through them all. This is the Tehuti Podclass, and we're going to get through all of these because last 2 times we were not able to get through them all. And I want everybody, especially those who give their money and support, for this to get addressed. You can send in support without asking a question, or you can ask a question. Let me refresh the page. And there was some PayPals that came in, but I cannot see them on the screen. I'm going to go to the Cash App. So we're going to say, here we go. Oh, the brother Dracula spelled backwards. Dracula spelled backwards. And he said, so I hear noise of people coming into the StreamYard. I'm not looking at the StreamYard, but the StreamYard I put there for Brother Ahati Ma'at to come into the room. This is a Tehuti Podclass where this is based on questions and me answering them. I hear the boop, boop, boop of sounds, but I'm not looking at the screen right now. But this is not a free-for-all. Everybody come in. Those who I invite to come on the screen is for a particular purpose. It's usually if I take a break, and my purpose here is to go through all of the super chats and answer all of my students some questions. So I'm hearing a lot of boop, boop, like people are coming in, but I only remember inviting one person in, and I'm not looking at the screen to see who all the boop, boop, and all those sounds are, but there should only be one person in the room waiting, and that is Ahati Ma'at. So all the other boop boops, I'm not even going to look because I'm here to get through all of these questions, and it's already 9:20. So I'm going to go ahead and show this. This is a brother. Thank you, Black. I can never say his name. Blackulard. I'm just going to call him Dracula. Blackulard spelled backwards. Oh, can I be heard, everyone? Let me get back to the screen. Can I be heard? Do a mic check, please, if I can be heard. Do a mic, press 1 if I can be heard. Okay, I'm looking at the screen now. I heard a lot of boop boop like people came in the room, but I don't see anyone in the room. It's just Ahati, which it should only be. So I don't know who those other people were. I didn't look, but press a 1 if you can hear me. Okay, good. Everybody can hear me. Let me go ahead and put Blackula. I don't know. I'm just gonna call him Black Dracula. Black Dracula. Let me go ahead and put him on here. And 3. Okay, 3. And he said same question. But I don't know what the question is. I don't know. I get so many questions from people. I need to see it on the screen. So Blackcard says, you guys can't see it, but it says same question on the Facebook. But I don't remember what the question was because I get so many questions. I have to see them in front of me. So Blackcard, if you could put that question in the room, and I'll go ahead and see if that's something I can answer here. Peace to everyone in the room. We got Brother Mighty Hebrew showed up in the room. Peace to you. We have our sister WF Bankcard. New people have stepped in the room. We have Sister Tamika Wright who has stepped in the room. Thank you all for coming and supporting and asking questions. Yeah, Alucard is Blackula spelled backwards. If you could put the question you asked, because I don't see it on there, I will get to it. Let me get to the others in the meantime. I'm trying to go by these. 1 second. Nanny. Text TT. Let her know that I'm not seeing the I'm not seeing the PayPals. Yeah, people are sending PayPals. I'm not seeing them on the screen. Okay. This is a brother who I believe asked a question maybe 2 pod classes ago, and we couldn't get to him. Let me put up, this is the good brother, Netakert Hotep L. I'm assuming is a brother. I'm going to go ahead and show this on the screen. 4. Okay, good. Shout out to the brother, our sister. And let me go ahead and show this on the screen. Okay, here we go. I think this is him. Is it showing? Maybe. Boom, there he goes. All right, shout out and respect to Netzakert Hotep L. And I appreciate this brother because this brother sent a question in, didn't get answered. One of them got answered, one of them didn't, and then sent it back in again. So this brother is dedicated to hear some information on this. I'm going to go ahead and knock this question out and then get back to Black Dracula and see if his question is in there. I need to see the question on the question inside the Cash App. I know we had a conversation. I have so many people, you wouldn't believe how many people try to send me messages and contact me all throughout the whole day with questions. I cannot remember them all. Let me take this off the screen. So it is best for the soul, cremation or burial. Wonderful question. Let me say this. There's a reason why we don't find any popular or even any record of a cremation ritual in Kemet. Let me get it back on the screen. Yeah, I'm not seeing them for some reason.
Oh, the email screenshots?
I'm not seeing anything. Okay, so in Kemet, you don't see rituals and tombs set up for cremation. As a matter of fact, you see the opposite. And the reason being is, I'm going to see if I can get some images here.
She resent it.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, I have so much stuff that what was it for? Classes. One second, everybody. Appreciate the question. Let me pull up some things here. Okay. Okay, here is the answer, and I'm going to show this on the screen here. And share screen. Share screen. Where is it? Oh, you know what? Let me see if I'm sharing the full screen. I'm sharing a part of the screen. No problem. No problem. Can everybody see the screen? Wonderful. Here we go. Okay, if everybody can see the screen, we will analyze what is called the bioenergetic aspect. The bioenergetic aspect of a human etheric body is the underlying supporting bioenergetic mechanism, an active living template for the bodily intelligence and all biological life process. It works in line with the biological function of the physical body and exists as the exact bioenergetic counterpart, very important word, counterpart that is firmly enmeshed with the living physical body. Okay, this is today's understanding by those who study out-of-body experiences. Shout out to Robert Bruce and Mastering Astral Projection. And those who study the modern-day concepts of out-of-body experiences. And then, of course, I'm going to show you the original. Now, we go to the Papyrus of Ani, that the Europeans are calling the Book of the Dead. and we look at the Ka again. So the bioenergetic template is in actuality the Ka. And it says, "Thou art my double within my body, forming and making my limbs strong. May thou come forth to the place of happiness, which we advance there. Not make anything stink." Okay, the not make anything stink part goes back to the Nitiru Inpu. Inpu means to smell. And the reason why Inpu means is to smell, because he is associated with the first morticians, the one who would prepare the body to actually cause it not to smell bad, but to actually smell good. By preparing the body, sometimes it would take 281 days, sometimes 72 days, where they would take the time to create an immaculate, as I explained, sahu, not mummy. Mummy is a European word that deals with cannibalism, but to create a sahu, which is to keep the body intact so that it would not stink. Because in the Purim Haru, you're trying not to decay. You're trying to keep your form. You're trying to keep your name. Okay, the name is the sound frequency of your existence. That is why it's called a name. It's called a ren, which is this symbol right here, these symbols right here, which is a mouth, which is sound, which is why you have the person pointing to their mouth. And then you have the waves. Waves in Kemet represent any type of waves. That could be any type of wavelength, whether it is the waves of the ocean, a river, or energetic wavelengths. Energetic waves, which are the other counterpart of particles. When these waves come together, these sound waves come together, they are the name, because a name is actually the sound that is a part of what creates you. So everything's original name is actually hidden until you find its frequency. So let's say 900 hertz. I showed a video where they used a 900 hertz sound frequency to actually shatter glass, because they figured out that the sound that actually is a part of creating glass can actually be used to destroy it. That is why in ancient times, if you find out the sacred name of a being, you can control them or destroy them, because every person, everything in existence is actually composed of certain sound frequencies. You control those sound frequencies, you can control the person, because actually sound frequencies that holds the person together. So in the Purim Haru, you are requesting that you don't want to decay, because you want to hold yourself together. You want your name, your vibrational, to be as intact as you were when you were walking around. One of the biggest fears in Kemet is to be separated. Let me see if I can find something really quickly here. To be separated, which means to have your particles go in every direction. Okay. I'll have that going there. Commit tempt. See if this is it. Oh. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and look for something else. Okay, let that load up, and while I'm explaining this, and I'll get back to that to show you why the pharaohs, the par-EEs, are always shown with their hands closed together like this. It was called tem, which means to be full, to be complete. Okay, this is where you get the word atom from, right? Atom, which is supposed to be something that's indivisible. It was the fact that as a Kemetian, you did not want to be divided up into parts. You wanted to be full. You wanted to be the atum or the tem, which is a complete being coming out of the body, looking as you were when you were in the physical body, and not be dispersed into light particles. So thus, because the Ka was considered the double replica, which is actually creating the form of the physical body. You don't want to decay in either forms, you want to stay stable. Okay, so that's why when you see the word ka, it is actually the double, because it is the energetic template. And this is why around the human body and even animal bodies, you can see a light imagery that is shown through Kirlian photography. And that light imagery looks just like the physical body. It has fingers, it has legs, it has body parts, and it is called the ka, which is the energetic template. This is why even after death, when you get into the Purim Haru on page 89, over here, you deal with the Sechem. The Sechem is the power to control these energetic template body parts after death, called the Sechem. This is where the word Sekhmet comes from. It is the power of memory. It is the power of mind, called the Sechem. And it says here, Sechem EM, I have gained power over my two arms. Now, understand that this is in the afterlife. This is after you're already passed. So in the afterlife, you still have two arms. You're still considered as a being that has two arms, because you're in what's called today's modern day definition is called the real time zone. The real time zone where the bioenergetic template, the etheric bioenergetic double looks just like the physical body. It has arms, it has feet, it has heads, and then from that form you can start to shapeshift. But when you come out of your body, when you first have an out-of-body experience, you come out looking just as you did when you were passed, when you were laying. So that's why it says, I've gained power over my two arms, I've gained power over my feet. So there's feet there. I've gained power to do what pleases my ka, because the ka has feet, it has arms. It looks just like the physical body when it comes out. Not shall my soul be imprisoned in my kot. Kot is the same word as ka. It has a T at the end, but the kot is the physical ka that dies. The ka is the imperishable, and it's supposed to be imperishable, and then the kot is the physical body. It is when the ka starts to die. Every day you're on earth, you're actually dying. So you don't want to be trapped at the gates of Amenta. You want to pert em hetep, which is to come forth in peace. Okay, so to answer the brother's question, there's much more to this, but to answer the good brother's question, the answer is in Kemet, in the Nile Valley. They made sure that they wrapped the mummy up in order for it to keep its form. They didn't want it to be cremated. They didn't want it to be dust particles. They didn't want one arm to be over here, leg to be over here. They wanted to keep the pharaoh like this, and it represents him, holding himself together. The most important thing was that you wanted to be in full form as one individual entity in the afterlife, because the ka, which is the double, looks just like the physical body when it comes out. And that's why when you have an out-of-body experience, when you look at yourself, you actually see hands, arms, feet, except for they're not as clear as they are in the physical world. As a matter of fact, some of the hands, when you look at your hand in an out-of-body, it looks like it's kind of melting. And that is because your consciousness that's actually forming that body, once you come out as a physical being, once you come out as a being that looks like the physical being that you were when you died, at that point, then you can start to shape shift, transform, because you're in a body that is no longer limited to the physical aspects. But you want to come out in form, recognizable first. That is why all the Kemetians spent days and weeks and months preparing burials. Not all the Kemetians, some of them couldn't do that type of burial, but the ones that are mummified, it was to hold the body together so that when you come out of your body, you say, I have control over my hands, my feet, my limbs. I can do what I please, because when you first come out, you're in what's called the real time zone, which is the enmeshed counterpart, as they say, counterpart of this physical world. It looks just like this one. So the answer to the question is yes. The ancient people made sure they preserved the body and not cremated or not cut the body up into parts and sent some other places or anything. They made sure that that body stayed in its form. When it came out, you came out in that form, and then from that state you could shape shift, you could become an orb, you can take on any form, because you begin to realize that you're actually made up of refined light etheric particles that don't have to hold any form. You can keep that human form, or you can change into other forms, because light can take on any form. So to answer the question, yes, burial and preservation was much more important in ancient Nile Valley culture than cremation, and that's why you don't find really pharaohs cremated in any kind of ritual form. It does not mean for those who have their parents and anybody that they love cremated, it does not mean that they are etherically destroyed because they were cremated. It does not mean that, but they wanted to make sure the body was intact for the most that they could do on the physical plane to help the body make that smooth transition into the etheric world. Some people end up leaving their body when they die. They have NDEs, out of body experiences, after death, and they're conscious of it, and they end up going into other realms. And actually what happens to their physical body in this day and time doesn't really affect them, other than they can't go back inside of it, of course, because it's cremated. Some beings, after they've died for an hour and a half, can come back, not really come back, it's more of a reintegration, because the echoed bodies are always connected with the physical form, so it can reintegrate down, re-echo itself until the consciousness is in the physical body. And some have done that over an hour after you physically die. But of course, if you've died and you get cremated, then that body is that there's nothing more to come back to. Another reason also is that the Kemetians visited their loved ones. They put their loved ones up as you could go into the tomb and see Tutankhamun, at least the Sahu, the sarcophagi as they call it. So you'll notice that the sarcophagi was always kept in a human form. They didn't want to go back and see him just in a box with ashes in it. They wanted to keep him in a form that they could come back and look at, even though he's passed. And proof is shown, because we still have these mummies today in an almost perfect state after 5,000 years. Some of them look like they just were laid down a couple of weeks ago. Mehi Pere is a perfect example. He was so well preserved that he looks like a sleeping slim person. He doesn't even look like he doesn't even look dead. He just looks like he's laying down sleeping. And that was in the time of Ramesses, which would have been 3,200 years ago. As opposed to today, when someone dies, if you go back to your grandmother's or grandfather's tomb and dig it up a year later, 2 years later, there's nothing much left in there. The Kemetians preserved their bodies because they wanted to keep its shape. So that's the answer to that. Thank you so much, Brother Netter, for asking that question. And we're going to move on. I appreciate it. We're going to move on to more. Our job here is to get through all of them, to make everybody feel like they are a part. And there's so many. This light. Okay. Jonathan. Let me see. Oh, shout out to Brother Jonathan, who just sent some support. Who just sent some support. Shout out to you, Brother Jonathan. I thank you. Thank you. You can just support. If you want to ask questions, that's fine. If you want to just support, you can, because this is actually one of the ways I make a living, is to share information and studies and classes that I have, especially in this COVID type environment where I can't even go out and do the things that I used to do out in the field, perform. I used to be a street performer, a trainer in a gym. I can no longer do those things anymore. So that income is vamoose. It is gone. So those who appreciate what I do, thank you. Let me see if this saved. And I'm going to go ahead and show this on the screen. Thank you, Jonathan. I think it is. Okay, good. Thank you, Jonathan. Let me go back to the room. And so many screens on the room. I can't even see everything, but here we go. Oh, add overlay. And there is Jonathan. Shout out for your support. Jonathan. And you know, also what you can do, everybody, is put the name that's in the chat room also inside of the Cash Apps. So when I shout you out, people in the room can know who you are, because your name may be Ma'at Sent Heptepen Ra in the room, in the typing room, but in the Cash App you're like Greg Smith, and so I need to know. But shout out to you, and I want to give everybody their just due respect. So whoever you are, Jonathan, if you're Jonathan in the room, much respect. If you're something else, let me know, and I'll shout that name out as well. Let me go through the Cash Apps again. The more support from shout out to Spice Island Sea Moss. Shout out to Spice Island Sea Moss, who just gave support. I don't see a question attached, so shout out to you, just for your support. I really respect and appreciate it. It's a reciprocity. I'm gonna go ahead and put you in here, and shout out to you. And here you are. And then after I get through these, I'm gonna take a browse through the room, ladies and gentlemen. If you're typing something in the room, sometimes I can't see it from this angle because I have so many screens going on. So don't think you are being ignored. I just can't see a lot of the comments unless I actually go to my comment section. But shout out to Spice Island Sea Moss, payment from for $5. Thank you. Shout out to you. Much respect for that. I finally received in my PayPals. The PayPals have come in. So those who send in PayPals, you were not ignored. They just literally came in for me to see. We also have Jiheru. Shout out to Jiheru, who sent his $11 for just appreciation. Jiheru, I appreciate you. Shout you out in respect for the appreciation, Jiheru. And I'll put you up in the room. Respect to you, Jiheru. Okay. For those of you who send me Cash Apps or anything, PayPal or anything, and you want me to shout out your other name, I will definitely do that. 7 show. So there is Jiheru. Nice name, by the way, Jiheru. Thank you for your support. My brother of 11. He sent in the duality number 11. Thank you for that. I don't know if that was coincidental or if that's, but I figured in the room maybe he saw my breakdown and sent it in based on that. Shout out to you, my brother, and respect to you. Let me see what's next. We're getting closer to the PayPals. And Godmind at one time sent a question in.
a couple classes ago. I broke it down, and then I found that people were, and I never seen this before. I don't know why they're only doing this with Godmind, but Godmind, you have some good supporters. But here's another one. It's people sending in cash apps for your questions. Your question. I don't know if this is a new question because I don't see anything. But I'm gonna go ahead and shout out Malcolm Mason. Shout out Malcolm Mason. Let me get back to the room. Shout out Malcolm Mason, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this up. Thank you for. I don't know if that was a question from when Godmind asked that a couple shows ago, or if Godmind has actually another question. If he has another question, I haven't seen it yet. Shout out to Malcolm Mason. Respect to you, brother. We're whipping through these. Everyone send in your support, please. This is what I do for a living, and I'm answering questions, breaking things down without any drama, without any chaos. And follow the sister there that's on the screen. Support with a cash app. Let me take off the banners. Ask any questions. Seek Ma'at. Okay, let me go ahead and go through. We're almost done with a couple of these, and they're actually still coming in. So that's Jonathan, G. Heru, Malcolm. Okay, now we're to the PayPals. Oh my goodness. Shout out to Los. Shout out to Los. He has turned the screen. If this was Super Chat, he turned the screen red. Shout out to you, my brother. You are awesome. He has sent $100. Well, almost $100. He did send it. The stupid PayPal ripped some off of him. So he sent it. So I'm going to give him his props. He sent it. PayPal didn't send it. PayPal dipped in. As they should. It's their service. Shout out to you, brother, for the biggest donation, and that is because I'm actually going to be. This brother wants to be and is a student of mine, and he wants to work on some things with me. He actually wants to come on the show and talk a little bit more, and I told him he could do so after I hear some of his thoughts. He wants to be a dedicated student, and he already is. I'm gonna go ahead and put you up for the biggest support, and thank you, my brother. Appreciate that. Boom, Carlos Queering. Thank you, my brother. You are awesome. Everybody give him a round of applause and thank you for that. And it's not even a question asked, but what he wants to do, he talks to me behind the scenes, and yes, we'll do something together, or maybe I'll support the brother's presentations or support what he's doing, and maybe even put his name in other people's ears. But he wants to become a sharp teacher, and he has much respect for me. Shout out. On here, he's actually not called Carlos. He's Kemetic Metter G. Everybody in the room, shout out Kemetic Metter G. That's what he's known as in the room, not Carlos. So shout you out, Kemetic Metter G. Shout out to Nanny Aset Murder, who says 4 donations and questions. This is also one of the moderators who will have a wrench next week. The moderators didn't get a wrench this week because of technical difficulties and other things that actually happened right before the class began, which actually slowed down a lot, which didn't give me time to do what I needed to do, even to have a proper start. I couldn't even play the proper intro. As you could see, the intro shut down. So next week, everybody will have their wrench. Nanny Aset Mur, shout out to you. Much respect.
to you. And oh, here's the Jiheru, brother. There you are, Jiheru. Respect to you. I'm gonna keep going down the couple. Okay, let me get through the cash apps. Let me get through. There's like one more, I think. Shout out to that's Carlos and Nick Reed, of course. Nick Reed. Shout out to Nick Reed, who just says peace. Shout out to Nick Reed, who just says peace. Peace to you, Nick Reed. Shout out to you and much respect to you. Nick Reed is an avid supporter and student and learner, and he's always showing his love. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad you guys, all ladies and men, also appreciate me. Shout out to Andrea. I don't see her, but I saw her pop up. But Andrea, who always supports, and I saw her name in the room. I don't see it anymore, but shout out to her, who is actually the mate of a student of mine from 28 years ago. I think I woke the brother up 28 years ago, and this is his mate. If you're in the room, Andrea, say something, and I'll definitely put you up on the screen and give you a shout out because you are an awesome supporter. Jody's in the room. Peace to Jody. Jody is in the room. Thank you. Peace to you, Jody. Let me go ahead and put the latest support from Nick Reed. Thank you, Nick. Peace to you, Nick, who just sent support for peace. Peace to you, Apep. To you. Shout out to everybody who is supporting the Tehuti Podclass. Let me go ahead and go to the next one. See if we have any question pop up. If not, no problem. Here's another one. Oh, that's the same one. That's Nick Reed. Oh, I see what's happened. Wait, rock. No. Okay, just getting through some of these computer glitches here. And we got Dimitri. Thank you, Dimitri, who actually not only did not ask a question, but actually put in the messages. Not that he's not asking a question. He's actually just saying, showing appreciation. You're welcome, my brother. You're very welcome. He sent the sacred number 7. You're very welcome. You are wonderful. Thank you for your support, Dimitri. I'll go ahead and put that in the room, and then we'll go ahead and break some more things down, get to some more information. I've broken down a lot tonight, but I'm going to break down more because people keep asking, and as long as they ask, you shall be answered. Where's brand? Okay, boom, and there you go. Shout out Demetrius. Thank you, my brother. No question, just want to say thank you. And I thank you. Thank you very much. And let me see if Dimitri, let me refresh this. Okay, everybody, welcome again. Oh, is this another one? We got Big Brother. This is Stranger. Hey, Stranger. Stranger's another dedicated brother who I see his name every time when I am on the Killer Priest podcast. He super chats almost every time. This man is a loyal supporter of what he finds is important to him. And he is saying, and I will say it, I will respond back. He is saying, actually, I'll just put it on the screen. Show everybody what he's saying. No question, but just some good vibes and good energy from the brother Stranger, as Stranger always brings. So Stranger says, shout out to Big Brother. Shout out to you. Peace and respect to Stranger, and I appreciate that. You are awesome and wonderful again, and always in the background. Let me look in the comments, see if he's even in the room. I don't even know if he can hear me. I don't know if he's left the room or if he's in the room. And Brother Stranger says, or at least the last thing he said when he was in the room was, water reflects everything, and we're made of water, so we're mirroring the universe. KP. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, that's there's a lot of science in that we can get into, and this is why the Kemetians focused on the origins being of noon, the water. Okay, Shannon, great vibes to you, Shannon. Much respect. And we have Shut Up Lowry, says peace. I'm not telling you to shut up, I'm just reading your name. Shut Up Lowry, peace to you. Shut Up Lowry, peace and respect to you. You always show forth much respect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look back and see if there's any more cash apps. If not, what I do for the oh, there is. Is this another? Oh, that's Steven. That's the same person. Oh, and oh, when it says 4, that's the person sending it. Okay. Ah. Okay. Got you. Thank you. Thank you. This is what I actually want people to do. For Shut Up Lowry. Much respect. Shut Up Lowry actually sent a $5 support, and with a nice little message. Once again, if you don't want me to show the Cash App name when you give a donation, you can put that, and I absolutely will not show it. So I'm just going to give Shut Up Lowry a shout out because he gave $5, and I don't want to screenshot the thing because of his request, and I respect everybody's privacy. Okay, we want privacy. No problem. I respect it. So thank you to you, Shut Up Lowry. You are definitely always showing up. Intuitive, and I'm gonna go through some of the people that are consistent. Whenever I don't see a Cash App or a PayPal, I'm just gonna scroll down the screen and see for those who do consistently support. I'm going to go over a couple of your comments because you've already supported. And give shout outs to some of the new people, which is Tony Samaroni. That rhymes. Tony Samarono. Sorry. It doesn't rhyme. Tony Samarono. Shout out to you. Peace and love to you, Tony Samarono. Much respect. Beautiful chat room. Glad you like the build and the vibes. And I think we have okay, Intuitive Fugitive is a consistent. So he said, Tehuti, speak on Yahweh. Let me ask a question to Intuitive Fugitive. Intuitive Fugitive, could you type in a little more specific question, and I'll go over it briefly. All right, and here is Zebra again, who says peace to the room. Zebra is here again saying peace to the room. All right, Zebra. Boom. Okay. Zebra, get some warmth on my neck. There you go. All right. Speak on Yahweh. Ooh. Okay, Nanya Bitterness says, I'm in here. All right, I'm glad. None of your business? It's like a play on words. Nanya Business. Okay. I'm in here. Peace to Nanya Business. Okay, peace to everyone in the room. None your business, and everybody that came in the room. And we got some other people that just came in. And we got we got a bird flight showing a zebra. Okay, bird flight showing a zebra. We have Nanny Setmer. Thank you for showing love. Robert Reyes for the biggest donations.
The first biggest donation, the $100.
That was Carlos.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not Robert Reyes. That was Carlos. That was Kemetic Meta G. Everybody, Kemetic Meta G gave the biggest donation. Thank you, Kemetic Meta G. And I don't even know how this popped up on the screen, but I'm gonna read it because I don't even remember clicking it. But it is. This is the brother who said, "Speak on Yahweh." Speak on Yahweh, and I asked him for details. I'm reading the Bible currently out of curiosity, and the God that is speaking to Moses is said to be Yahweh. I'm by no means a Christian. I'm actually Sikh. Interesting. Just learning history. I will get to that question. I will get to that. Let me look through the super chats or the cash apps. 1 second. That's a great. I love those questions. I'm gonna answer briefly. Well, let me see. Where is Okay. Tehuti Podclass. Okay, I see what's going on here. Okay, let me get off the banners. Okay, banners. Okay, peace and love to everyone, and to the person that asked that, I'm going to answer briefly because I really want to I have to show love to the people that actually send in the cash apps to give them the most thorough answers. But I actually like this question, so I'm gonna go ahead and just break down a couple of things based on it. Okay. Let me see how the screen looks. Let me see, what is this here? Break down whew. Okay. All right. So the Yahweh in this Bible is not one deity or one entity or one story. It's actually a conglomeration. It's a conglomeration of different stories that were taken and put together. And this is why you can't find any ancient culture inconsistency. I say inconsistency. If you study the Mayans, the Aztecs, if you have them, you will see inconsistency. They did things. They made statues. They wrote about these things. Inconsistency, that means over the years. If you study the Sumerians, the Kiingi people, that's their real name, the Assyrians, they did things in consistency. That means they weren't just a culture that popped up for a week and then disappeared and left a little marking somewhere. Inconsistency, there's no record of any group of people talking about a Yahweh. Hold on a second. There's no set of people that are talking about anything called a Yahweh. There's no ancient writings that go back to 2000 BC to 1400 BC of people themselves talking about what they received and what they believe about Yahweh. If there is such a record of a deity that goes back to ancient times, please, I ask any Hebrew, any Christian to please provide the records of a consistent culture. That means this culture was around for more than a week. Okay? If the acknowledgement of Yahweh was acknowledged from the times of right after Abraham and on, all the way up to King David, you're talking about thousands of years of a supposed culture acknowledging a Yahweh. If somebody could show me proof that there was any ancient culture that had hundreds of years, even a month, like give me some time period where cultures wrote about saying in first person that they acknowledged a Yahweh. Yahweh is actually a conglomeration from originally Yah, Y-A-W, are also just said with a yod, which makes a yah sound. This yod, or this yah, was actually originally said iya. In ancient times, there was actually no letter Y. It was a letter A, which made an E sound, an E. And so when you said a letter after it, it sound like iya. But it wasn't in actuality letter Y. So Iya, in actuality, was Tehuti's name. Tehuti, the moon god, as they call him. He was called Iya, or Yah, and even Yahu. Yahu, where they get this Yahuwah pronunciation from. This is why you can't find any ancient Hebrew culture of any group of people writing about that they acknowledge any kind of Yahweh. And actually, I'm giving a brief breakdown because the thorough breakdown, of course, will come with the Cash App support on the PayPal. But I'm definitely going to show a little something here for people. This is from one of my lessons. And we're going to look at it again. So this is yod that you're looking at, okay? This is yod, which is also a word for hand or an arm. Hand or an arm, which is a yod. The body part that the God of the Bible is associated with when he talks to Moses is a finger and a hand who wrote these records on these supposed tablets, which nobody's found. They're supposed to be destroyed. But this concept of a yod or a hand comes from this symbol here. The symbol here is an actual early symbol. So if they say Yahweh is spelt with this symbol here, they can't show it because this form of Hebrew only exists around 600 BC. So what they're going to show you is they're going to show you some ancient Canaanite language, and then they're going to rename their language Proto-Hebrew, Proto-Semitic Hebrew. When the people of the time never called that language Proto-anything, they didn't call it Sinaitic anything. These are modern-day Europeans wanting to push the Hebrew narrative, so they're going to rename an ancient language of a culture that actually existed, the Phoenicians, the Punic Canaanians, and they're going to say, forget, your language is not called what you are. We're going to rename it Proto-Sinaitic Hebrew. It's just something. It's just crazy. But anyways, so this is it. This is the yod. And I want to show you that it comes from this symbol right here. Early Semitic pictograph of this letter, yod, an arm and a hand. Meaning of this letter. Okay, this is from a Hebrew website, by the way. This is from a Jewish Hebrew website. This is them speaking on themselves. To make throw function hand, the modern Hebrew yud is derived from this word yud, a Hebrew meaning hand, or the name of the original letter. Okay? This is a Medunetter letter. This Hebrew hand is a Medunetter letter. Now I'm going to show you when you take the same symbol of the yod and put it like this, you end up with the head of Tehuti, whose symbol is this hand here sticking up, because he's known as the god of writing. So because he's the god of writing, because he's the one who writes and the teacher of writing, his symbol was a hand and an arm. It was literally this symbol. This is a hieroglyphic right here that got mutated and put into the Hebrew language. And that's why you can't find the Hebrew one first. You find the Medunetter one first. So this god, Yah, was actually taken from the concept of Tehuti, the writer. And when we go over here real quick, we'll just do a little something live real quick. And we're going to type in Tehuti's name in the Greek was Thut or Thoth. So we're going to put in Thutmose and a simple search, Thutmose 1. And when you look up Thutmose 1, right? Thutmosis. Do you see the names in there? The Thut stands for Tehuti, and the Moses is where they get Moses from. So in ancient times, these two names were put together, Thut, the god of writing, and Moses. So of course, when they created their Bible, their Torah, their Tanakh, all these words that don't even exist as forms of book. Nobody in ancient time ever read any such book that they said was called a Torah. If somebody could show me in history where any ancient people themselves, this is what kills the Hebrews and Christians, because they don't like to, it's racism. They don't think the indigenous people are intelligent to speak for themselves. Show me an indigenous writing that goes back thousands of years ago of anybody themselves in their story saying, we read the Torah. We have a book called the Torah. The Torah is a set of books that was passed down. There's nobody ever said that. These are all new terminologies made up by Europeans and placed on to create in cultures that don't even exist. There's no record of this. So there's no record of any of this. It's so silly though. But they'll get emotional and crazy and yell, but they can't show a record. Thut, but there is a record of Tehuti. There is records of people, indigenous people, believing and acknowledging a Tehuti. There's the Pharaoh who's named after Tehuti, the god of writing. He was called Moses, and he's Thutmoses or Tehuti Moses, which is the son of, to come out of the water, the son of Tehuti, as in the spiritual son of Tehuti, meaning that he follows the ways of Tehuti. So of course they created a god of writing, and of course the god of writing, the first person he comes to is Moses. Show me any ancient indigenous culture in ancient times that has any record of a man named Moses that they themselves believed in. So we have Thutmose over here, and I like to show this because, see, Thutmose was born the third pharaoh. He received. See how they're talking about historical people that indigenous people speak about, real people, actual people. Okay, that is Thutmose. So he is a man that's Moses, that acknowledges that his God is Thut, the god of writing, the god of the finger, the god of the pen, the god of the quill. This is a real person who indigenous people spoke about themselves, who goes back to 1506 BC, who indigenous people spoke about. Whatever you believed about his beliefs, if you disagree or agree with his belief, that's irrelevant. The relevancy is that ancient people themselves said they acknowledged that they had a king named Thutmose. The indigenous people wrote about themselves, about him. He himself had scribes that wrote. This is real history. Now we're going to do the same with Moses, right? Do the same with Moses, and watch what's going to happen. A cartoon is going to pop up when you click on Moses. Look at the first thing that happens. A cartoon. Why is it that when you look up any of the ancient Assyrian, you can look up the Sargon, you can look up the Kiyingi people, you can look up the Kemetic, any ancient people, and they themselves have statues that they themselves made. But as soon as you look up biblical characters, you see this. You don't see anything of ancient people themselves drawing any kind of image or any kind of literature of a Moses. What's it going to say about Moses? Moses is considered, right? He's considered one of the most important prophets. According to, see what happens? According to both the Bible and the Quran. Whenever you look up King David, Solomon, Moses, it's always going to say, look for these keywords, according to, described as. According to, described as. The biblical narrative, the Quran is always going to use these words. When you get to Obama, it doesn't say anything about according to. Like Obama was the president. He was the president. Trump was a president. Muhammad Ali was a boxer. He wasn't a boxer according to anything. He was a boxer. He was a boxer. Tom Hanks is an actor. He's not an actor according to somebody. He is an actor. Thutmose was a pharaoh. Not according to anything. He was a pharaoh. Okay, but when you get to Moses, always considered to be according to the Bible and the Quran. And then you always get this kind of creature, this cartoon images, but no image of a Moses. And believe me, Hebrews would love to have an image of a Moses, because whenever you go to Hebrew website, they have pictures of Moses splitting the Red Sea, Moses holding 2 tablets. So believe me, they believe it's okay to draw pictures of Moses. Okay, so the Yah inside the Bible is taken and grafted, and the Moses inside the Bible is taken and grafted from these people. Their stories now are completely created. I'm not going to go in detail through the stories unless I get a good cash out, but the stories, if we were to go through the stories of Yahweh in the Bible and try to comport them with real history, you would be flabbergasted. You would be flabbergasted trying to comport Yahweh in the Bible with what the Bible says about history and events and actual history. So there is no Yahweh. There is no ancient real being called a Yahweh. There was a Yah who was Tehuti. His stories are nothing like the Bible, but the Bible, the biblical stories are created, unverified by cultures of the time, unverified by any ancient Hebrews themselves. And this is what I always ask Hebrews and Christians. I just ask them the simple question. Hey, did ancient Hebrews believe in a Yahweh? Of course they did. Okay, good. Can I see what an ancient Hebrew said about Yahweh? Yes, it's in the Bible. No, the Bible that's a new book. That's a new book. Septuagint is 287 BC. Could you show me an ancient book of Jeremiah? I'd like to read. Oh, Moses and his men wrote about Yahweh. Good. Moses was 1400 BC. So therefore, whatever you show me that Moses is supposed to believe in, that document has to date to 1400 BC. If it doesn't date to 1400 BC, it's not Moses talking. I would like to see that ancient Hebrews believed in a Yahweh. Ancient Hebrews of the time believed in a Yahweh. Did they? Did Ezekiel believe in a Yahweh? Okay, good. When did Ezekiel exist? Well, then his book has to be the same. Don't show me a book written in 2021 and tell me that Adolf Hitler wrote it. Adolf Hitler's book has to originate in the time Adolf Hitler, unless he wrote it as a ghost. So there's no proof of any ancient Hebrew people in the times of the so-called ancient Hebrews believing in any of these stories. These are all recent writings. There is no ancient book of Psalms that goes back to when David was supposed to be 900 to 970 BC. Then his book is supposed to be 970 BC. Solomon was 1000 BC, then the Songs of Solomon and the Proverbs need to be 1000 BC. Okay, they can't be from 1950. They can't be from 200 BC. They have to date back to the time of the author. So somebody proved to me that King David believed in anything that was written in Psalms. And they can't. And that's how I trap people in these debates, because they like to go off of emotion and off of, you know what I'm talking about. Come on, Tehuti, leave me, man. You know where the... No. Can you please show me that King David believed in anything that was in the book of Psalms? In order for King David to believe what was written in the book of Psalms and King David has to exist at the same time. Can you show me King David saying he believed in the book of Psalms? No? Yes? No? Yeah? So once you have archaeological evidence and facts, you'll find that these stories of Yahweh go out the window, because they're actually very gruesome, and there was no ancient Yahweh written of by any ancient culture who said that they were told to wear tassels. Where are these stories? Or where can we find these ancient stories that some Yahweh told people to wear tassels on their sides and cut your beard a certain way and circumcise and all of this? I would love to read the firsthand documents of this to see if this existed, but they can't show it. So all they're gonna say is it's what is it called? Traditional oracle, oral tradition. And I say, oh, somebody orally in their brain wrote out the whole Bible? Do you know? Could you bring that person to me? Could you bring anybody today that you could just yell out any Bible verse and they know it word for word? The whole Bible from Genesis to the end of Revelations, and you orally memorize it. That doesn't exist in the human brain, has not been proven to do such a thing. And that's why there's nobody today that's reciting the whole Bible and can write it and pass it on to the next person. So all that oral tradition stuff is just talking. That's all it is, talking. So we'll get into more of that, but let me go ahead. Thank you for that, though. Fugitive, I only addressed that because you're a consistent person. And there's much more to it, but we'll get into that more. I'm gonna check because I'm getting in cash apps as oh no, don't do that. Hold on. I don't know, God mind. I don't see. It's gone. I'm getting. Okay. If God mind, if you send a cash app. I don't know if I received it. My cash apps I receive is Blackulard for thank you, G Heru. Okay. And Steven, what did he say? How's Patah and how's Patah the same as Patah? Okay. Okay. Let me go through more cash apps that have come out. So shout out to Black Sula card. I'm just gonna say Black Sula card. That's what I'm going to call you. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I'm going to get it right one day. Black Sula card, that's you for now. Until I hear you actually say this name right. I'm saying it the best I can, my good brother, but Black Sula card. Black Sula card, respect to you. And you gave, where are you? Black Sula card gave a thank you. Is that him? I think this is him. That is him. Black Sula card, thank you, peace and shout out, respect to you and the appreciation. Thanks for the lesson from Black's Alucard. Black's Alucard, thank you, my brother. We'll go through a couple of these and then we're going to close it down. It is 10. I've been here for 3 hours. 3 hours. Let's or more. G. Heru. G. Heru, thank you for this. Don't know if I'm gonna. I need more elaboration on what this question really even means for me, but I'm gonna give you a shout out anyways. I don't understand the question, and I'm running out of time. Maybe if you could send me a direct message to elaborate on what this question means. I'll put it up on the screen so people can see, because I want everybody to see what I get. This is how I get it as it is. I don't edit anything. I don't change the question. I don't reword it as anything different from what I see. So this is what I saw from the brother. Good brother. He keeps sending 11. Much respect to you. And he says, is north really south and east really west? I think I'm going to say that for next time till I get elaboration on where that notion is coming from. I don't know if you mean on a compass. I don't know if you mean if they've changed the maps. But I have that saved. Thank you for that. And I'll need more clarity before I can actually address that with facts, because I'm not going to make up something and pretend that I understand the question and I am not clear. So that is there anyways. All the questions are saved. They're on YouTube. There's a record that I read them. I have them saved in my file. So even if there's no clarity on the day of, the person can always remind me the next Podclass with some clarity, and I'll get to it. Stephen. Here's another one I'm not quite clear on, and maybe I'm not reading it right, but Stephen is a great brother who always supports. Always, he set up personal one-on-one classes with me when I have the time to do so. I'm gonna go ahead and put his thing up on this low battery. Nope. This computer is trying. Okay. Oh, Malcolm is mine. Malcolm is God mine. Okay, let me look. I did read his donation. Oh, Malcolm, he's not sending 4. Okay. He is God mind. We'll get to it. Because I saw 2 names come in saying this question is for God mind. I thought they were saying they're supporting, but maybe it's God mind under different names. And it's, well, we'll see. We will get it all clear. But in the meantime, we have Stephen Escalar who says, peace. How is Ptah the same as Ptah? I don't know what's going on in this question here. I don't know if I'm reading this right. It looks like the same word, but Steve is a brother I speak to frequently, so I'm sure he will chime in and clarify it in behind the scenes, and I'll come back and address this. But what it looks like it says is, how is Ptah the same as Ptah? I don't understand, but respect to Steve, respect to you for that. And I'm sure you'll clarify behind the scenes because you send me messages all the time throughout the week. So peace and love to you for that. He clarified it. No, Stephen Escalar. He clarified it. I may have to answer that next week, my brother. Let me go back to So Malcolm Mason is God mind, but I don't see a question here. Okay, brother God mind, if you could, because I think you did this before. When you send the actual Cash App, if you could, send the question in there, because sometimes I think you send the question in the room, and then I'll see. I may read the Cash App half an hour after you sent it, and then your question's way up somewhere at the top, and I can't do all that. So if you could just type your question into the in the same Cash App, it gives you the ability to put a sentence in there, and that'll make it easier for me, so I don't have to look all throughout the chat for your question. Send it to me in an email, or I gotta be able to know what it is. Okay, we got some new people in the room. We got Master K. I know Master K. There are many Buddhas. Okay. Ooh, I don't know if let me see. So, Stephen, if you're in the room, press 1. If you're in the room, press 1. I'm deciding whether I'm going to address yours or God Minds, because it's actually time to close the room down. It's been 3 hours. But God Mind has sent his question a while ago. I just never did see it. So, Stephen, if you're in the room, and I know people's names are different, so I don't know. I don't know. Oh, is Stephen Mr. E? Okay, Stephen, I think. Oh, so Stephen is Mr. E. That's why sometimes I don't know whose question is whose, because their names are different from the Cash Apps. So you can also type your name of who you are in the room, so I can actually look for you. So I don't know if God Mind is in here. God Mind, are you in here? Yes. I don't know if you're in here, but Stephen, I would like to actually begin the next Podclass with that question that you asked, because that's a great question. It's getting late, but I would love to open it up just like this class. I actually opened up with a question from Mandarin that he sent the last class. That was right at the end. I didn't have time, so I'll do the same with you, my brother. Well, there's some lighting. The same with you. I'll open it up with that, and I'll also look for God Mind. Let me look and see God Mind's question. Is he Dennis? Oh, you sent it to my Texas. My eyes are getting blurry. I'm getting tired. Okay, hold on. I can see what are the origins of masculine and feminine. Okay, I received God Mind's question. And this question God Mind sent a while ago. It's about half an hour ago. What are the origins of the cultural Oh yeah, this I'm gonna have to begin the next class with this, God Mind, because this is deep. That's at least another. That's a good 35-minute breakdown, because it's one of my favorite topics. Okay, it's one of my favorite topics. I'm going to put my email address in the room, God Mind, if you are there. Yeah, that's one of my favorite topics, God Mind. I appreciate that question and the last one. Beautiful question, one of my favorites. I'm going to go ahead and definitely answer that. Next time, because we're going to close up. So Stephen and God Mind, you guys get the opening for the next class. I'm going to break it down for you then, because it is getting late right now. And both of those questions are elaborate. How is Buddha Ptah? I love that question. And the masculine and feminine wars. That's, I'm going to have to definitely deflate the answer, because that's something I could break down for well over an hour. Don't forget me. G Haru? Let me go back. I thought I answered G Haru. Let me see. I thought I oh yeah, yeah, that's right. He sent another one. G Haru, if you could do me this favor, my brother, before I promise any answer on that, can you, if you know me from Facebook or if you want to find me, I'm going to type it in. It's simply just Tehuti. Type this in. You'll see me on Facebook. And then send it to me. Let me know your G Haru. I need clarity on this one before I begin to answer. I'm not even going to promise I'm going to answer this one because right now I don't even know what the question actually is. But send me a message saying that you're G Haru. And then it may be a simple answer. It may be complicated. I'm not sure. But when you actually clarify what you're speaking of, if the directions on the compass are really the opposite for some reason, I would love to elaborate on that. I'd like to be clear though. So yeah, definitely send me that. Okay, everybody. We're going to give a shout out to a few people and then we're going to close the beautiful class down. And let me take one more look because stuff comes in. Check messages. Shout out to Dennis Witt. Shout out to this brother here. Shout out to God Fibonacci. Let me go ahead and just put you up before I close. I think he sent me a message. I think he sent me a question, but maybe it's in my messenger. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put the name he wants me to put up, which is I believe it's God Fibonacci. Just to give him respect that I acknowledge that he did send something in right as class ended. And I'm just going to give him a shout out here to the God Fibonacci. Then I'm going to check my messages, and maybe that's something I could answer for him in the messages since he sent the question in the messages. We shall see. So in the meantime, God Fibonacci sent 1101. I like these ones and 11s. Shout out to you, brother, and I will check my messages to see what it is you're inquiring about. Okay. Oh, and I see you in the room. There he is, God Fibonacci. All right. Yeah, we'll definitely talk. Okay, and let me give a shout out to everybody first. I want to give a shout out to all my moderators. All my moderators. Let me see which moderators. All my moderators, if you are in the room right now, press 1 so I can put you up on the screen. All my moderators, press 1. I want to give you a good night and shout out and a thank you for assisting the room because I'm extremely busy while I'm doing this. So shout out to all the moderators. Press 1 if you are still in the room, moderators. Okay, so we have the lovely The Truth is Ma'at. Shout out to The Truth is Ma'at, who is a moderator of the room. Shout out to Ahati Ma'at. I don't see him in the room, but shout out to Ahati Ma'at. Shout out to one second. Nini Aset Marie. I'm trying to see if you're. Oh, there's Ahati. I'm being patient and wait for everybody to press 1. So Nina Aset Marie, if you press 1. Shout out to the moderators. I'm giving a shout out to all the moderators. Press 1. Oh, I had to switch rooms. Moderators, press 1 if you are in the building, which is Ahati Ma'at, which is The Truth is Ma'at,
is Ma'at. His name has Ma'at in it. Nice. And the lovely Nanny Aset Marie, and also Unk M Mayat, who's actually not in the room at the moment, but she gets she gets a shout out as well. Wow, this room has so many comments I can't even scroll to the top. But shout out to Unk M Maya. I'm trying to scroll to the top to see her name, but its room has been 3 hours of comments. So shout out to Unk M Ma'at. Shout out to The Truth is Ma'at. Shout out to Nanny Aset Marie and Ahati. Shout out to everybody in the room. I'm going to give everybody a shout out. That is to Jody. Shout out to God Fibonacci. Shout out to Intuitive for the great question. There's much more to it, of course. Shout out to Steve. Shout out to Yes, the moderator, Steve. I mean, stranger. That's Steve. I'm looking at Steve. I mean, stranger. There we go. That is it. Make note. This word has just been created right here. For the first time, I believe, in history, I will bring this name to the public. They're not moderators, the ma'at-orators. The ma'at-orators. Make note, it is 10:44 p.m. Pacific time, February the 4th, 2022, is the creation from stranger of the word ma'at-orators. So 15 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when this name becomes popular and the Kemetic conscious people start using ma'at-orators, we will know that it originated with stranger. Stranger. You've just created history, because with who I am and where I go, I'm going to be saying this, and now you're going to see this word, and I'm going to accredit you, Steve. You're the creator of the ma'at-orators. That is awesome. That is awesome. Shout out to everybody in the room. Even Tony Samarano says, who threw that out first here? Good name. Yes. Shout out to you. Shout out to stranger moderators. That is great. Shout out to Robert Reyes. Shout out to none of your business. None of your business. Shout out to you. Shout out to everybody in the room who's still here. Shout out to Rigo, I'm just seeing his name now, of course. Where is Kemet? Shout out to Kemet. Shout out to Kemetic Metter G, who I think is out somewhere, cannot make the room, but still sent his support. I appreciate you. Shout out to this brother here who always supports. I've not seen any mods. That's because I couldn't give them the wrench yet. There was some time issues in the beginning, and then there was a whole shutdown, which affected the whole time. The whole room shut down, at least on my end. So there was no time to do all that. But you'll see them with a wrench next week for sure. Shout out to Robert Reyes. Shout out to Master K. Master K, G Haru. I'm giving everybody that I see a little good. Danny, of course. I don't know if this is Danny Divine, not Danny Salinas, but Danny Divine. Shout out and respect to you. One thing you'll notice about this room, everybody, is there's no chaos in here. There's nobody tearing each other down. There's none of that kind of energy in the room. If you have a disagreement with any of the teachings, you can easily present it, and it will be discussed. And I don't even see that. I'm open to that, and but there's no chaotic energy in here. Shout out to and there's not been one cuss word said, I believe, typed or said. Wonderful. Everybody that's in the room can meet. W.S. Banneker, Elo from the UK. Everybody, peace and love. And let me scroll all the way down. Peace and love, respect to everyone in the room. We will see you, moderators, exactly. Let's keep that on the screen for a bit. The moderators made up by Stranger. Okay, shout out to everybody in the room. Spread the word. I see that this Tehuti Podclass has the most in it than ever. It's been over 120 people, I think, 119 people. The Tehuti Podclass has averaged about 80, 67, 80. We were heading at 120, which is wonderful. So peace and respect to everyone. Share the word. Let everyone know about the Tehuti Podclass every Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Coordinate that to the time that you have in your area, whether it's Eastern or you may be in the UK, maybe a whole nother time period. You may be in Switzerland, but whatever it is, just look up 7 p.m. Pacific time and align that with your time. And yes, like, subscribe, share, let everybody know. And for those who are watching this after it shuts down, I ask you to follow the sister that is on the screen who says, support with a Cash App question, or you can just support any way you'd like. Let me go ahead for those who are going to watch this, because people also send support. Not everybody can make it to the class, so some people watch it afterwards and then send support throughout the week, and I appreciate them. Peace and love, everyone. Zebra says peace. Where are you, Zebra? There you are. Zebra says peace. Peace. Look at that. Imagine waking up and seeing that. So Zebra says peace. Peace to my lovely family, my inner circle, all the students, everybody asking questions, everybody who supports, everybody who's raising their consciousness, everybody who's raising their family's consciousness, and spreading the word of the Tehuti Podclass. Peace to everyone. Stacks Jenkins. And I will see you next week. Go watch me on Sonnetter. Type in Sonnetter Tehuti teaches Stepping Out the Matrix, and you will see me teaching there. Go look up Sonnetter Studios with me versus Vocab Malone. You can also go look up me versus Jabari and me versus Zion Lex. And you can look up the Killer Priest Podcast. Type in my name, Killer Priest Podcast, and I have at least 16 to 20 shows, 16 or so shows on there, and some debates. Okay, so peace to you, God Masters. Can't wait for the breakdown. We got to get out of the masculine feminine paradigm we are stuck in. Absolutely. Okay. Subscribe to me on Facebook, Tehuti Brown. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share the YouTube channel. Share the Facebook. Keep in touch. Send me direct questions if you'd like. And on that note, I'm going to say peace to everyone. Peace and love. And we're going to close it down. Peace.